ESPN welcomes you to the following presentation of the Southeastern Conference.
Well, all the sizzle and the showtime of a primetime game at Tuscaloosa. Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway. In this presentation to the SEC on ESPN, the LSU Tigers visiting the number 2 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide. And welcome inside Bryant-Denny Stadium. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, Holly Rowe will join us. We got the last 2 national champions, but while LSU has staggered some, Alabama sustained. They are 4 touchdown favorites, not the normal backdrop for this. Nick Saban always preaches against making it personal. And he won't make it personal, but his players just might after what happened 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago, LSU beats him with Joe Burrow. They go on to win the national championship, talk some trash afterwards. The players from Alabama have talked about that as motivation. Coach's going to kind of walk that back. He just wants execution. If you're LSU, what do you have to lose? I mean, they have so many players injured. We'll talk about that. Throw havoc to the wind. Take some chances on offense. Take some chances on defense. If they can get off to a fast start, get themselves to believe they can compete, you never know. The worst thing that could happen is if it goes sideways early, you just wonder if they have much ability to fight back.
And Orgeron knows that. I mean, the lame duck staff, he promised to tell his team to punch Alabama in the mouth, to come out fighting. He said when Alabama punches back, Ed, he said, be ready for the pain. The pain will come, and embrace it. Great to see these uniforms together on the field. Kickoff from Tuscaloosa coming up.
It's a rivalry games like this. You know you're always going to get the best out of your opponent.
People counting us out. I mean, that just adds fuel to the fire.
It's the SEC, man. It's tough football.
Tide have dominated this series, winning 9 of the last 10, the exception being the last one here at Bryant-Denny. You're watching a presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Last road trip for Ed Orgeron at LSU, and he's with Holly Rowe.
Coach Orgeron, the last time you were here on this field, you were en route to a national championship. It's different circumstances, but what has to be the same from your team tonight?
Hey, it's LSU, Alabama. They're a very good football team, but we want to win this game. We came here to win.
You've got a lot of guys out injured, but what was it you said to the kids in the locker room that they have to do out here?
Hey, stay together. Next man up. A lot of guys have a wonderful opportunity tonight. We're going to play hard tonight.
Thank you, Coach.
Go Tigers.
One final go Tigers. Yeah, about 7 or 8 key guys who would have been starters out of this game. The defense has been decimated. LSU won the toss, and they will give Alabama the football first. Avery Atkins, wearing that coveted 18, kicks it away. This is interesting because Alabama has scored a touchdown on the first possession, Kirk, every game except Mercer. So you're flirting with going down 7-0 when you try to get Bryce Young off the field. No meaningful snaps last year. What a tremendous season in his first year starting for the Crimson Tide. 26 touchdowns, just the 3 picks.
Greatest attribute beyond the numbers, the poise. How he plays through adversity, through the great moments. His teammates feed off of his cerebral approach, makes great decisions. LSU has got to mix up their looks and try to make it tough for him when it comes to reading coverage tonight.
Can they get a stop, which no one has been able to do against this Tide defense in the first series? Young on the move, and it's dropped. Amran Latu, the tight end, had it in his hands. Bill O'Brien calling the plays, and they have come out in a terrific rhythm. This guy's been sharp from the first snap just about every game.
And watch his facial expression. It's not going to change. The entire game, no matter what happens, that's the look that you get from Bryce Young. I sat down with him in the spring this past year, first time I had a chance to really meet him after the incredible year that Mac Jones had. And I walked out of that room like, guy was like a 3-year starter with his maturity.
Robinson into a clogged middle. Bill O'Brien has coached, what, maybe 4 dozen quarterbacks, echoing what you're saying it's almost beyond belief how calm and mature and how prepared he is at his age.
Yeah, and one thing right now about LSU, I know it's the first series, but that drop by Latu gets them now where they're 3rd down and long. There's a look at Bill O'Brien right there. See what kind of pressure they try to dial up here with Durante Jones, the defensive coordinator, if they're just showing it and they drop.
#1 offense for 3rd down conversions in the country at 58%. Third down defense has been a problem for the Tigers this year, atypically. They're showing pressure. Damone Clark comes, and he hits Young on the throw, but it's out, incomplete, and John Mechie, his top target, out near midfield. He stood in there and delivered, Kirk.
Yeah, he found the matchup that he wanted with Mechie against Pig Cage, who's not played a lot of football. He had him on the slot and the inside, and that was why he kind of stepped up. He helped the back, Brian Robinson, with protection because of the blitz, and then he found the matchup he wanted.
On the edge, gets the ball to Jamison Williams, the transfer from Ohio State, who's just been electric. He's been the deep threat, turns a short throw into an 11-yard gain.
You go back to this look, even with inside leverage. See how he's inside. Watch the route by Mechie, get him to move just slightly to the outside, and he got the ball off just in time. He allowed the receiver, Mechie, to get that little stem at the top of the route, and then he released the ball and gets hit as he throws it for that first down.
21 yards on that third down play. They pop it to Jamison, and Williams is going to show the speed to get around the edge. Wasn't much there, and he made it about an 8.5-yard gain. Here's the Chick-fil-A impact play.
He's electrifying. Going to start with Brian Robinson, what he can do, but of course Jamison Williams will get a feel there. Mechie on the outside. We're going to see a lot of them with one-on-one opportunities. Damone Clark, what a great leader in the inside in their front seven. And then on the outside, they are depleted in the secondary. Dwight McLaughlin has got to be able to hold up along with the rest of that secondary tonight. There's a lot of guys that are talented, just haven't played a lot of football.
Young delivers, but it's batted down at the line of scrimmage. He's 6 feet tall in the program, maybe a little bit shorter than that. Somehow he's able to see through the trees pretty well, but that one knocked down.
Yeah, that time it looked like Fanua actually got his hand on that 58. Yeah, right in the middle. He just kind of at the last second gets his hand up, knocks that ball down the left hand. And that's the one area, like you said, with a lack of size, when he throws from the pocket, the D linemen are going to try to get up and try to affect that accuracy.
Need about 1.5 yards on this third down. Young looking to throw for it. Back pedals and delivers incomplete over the middle. Threw it behind Mechie, and now it's 4th and 2. Offense on the field.
Well, LSU took away everything underneath. That was really good coverage, good communication. Forced him to have to throw that ball downfield. And by the way, they're getting pressure. They're getting after Bryce Young. Nick Saban concerned about that, and of course upset maybe that there was a push there by Ward, but that ball really didn't really give his receiver much of a chance. I think that's a good no call personally.
Interesting call that Saban's made here. A 49-yard field goal attempt. Will Reichard is extremely reliable, drives it low, and it's off the crossbar and no good. Never got any height on it at all. And Orgeron's team get to stop on 3rd and short, and Saban comes up empty.
See if the snap and the hold were good there. Oh, it's like the hold was just a little bit to the inside, may have affected the timing there.
It's a rare doink off the crossbar.
Yeah.
Never got any height on the kick.
No, it didn't. Just drove it.
I thought he'd go for that on 4th and 1.5 yards, frankly.
You know, I'll tell you what, the way this year has gone for Ed Orgeron and this LSU team on the road against this football team in Alabama, that's a major win for the LSU defense, getting a stop. As you said, they've been scoring on everybody.
So LSU, early boost in the lefty. Max Johnson flips it off in the flat. And the catch is made by Jack Besh, their tight end, who figures to play a big role tonight. Chick-fil-A impact players when LSU's got the football.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to try some play action pass on early downs. Ty Davis Price, they're going to have to run downhill with what he can do. You just saw what Besh can do, 80. Put him out at tight end, but they'll flex him around. Will Anderson is an outstanding player, one of the top players in the country against the run and the pass. And Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to get an opportunity to play a lot with Josh Jobe out of the lineup.
You feed Davis Price, and he finds the opening off the left. I mean, they would love to be able to pound him. They're hoping they can do to Alabama what Florida did in the second half, run the ball effectively.
Yeah, he gets right behind his offensive lineman. You got a pull this time by Hines, who's playing through injury. The big tight end, Mashburn. But what I love, this is what Davis Price can do. This is a football team that's not been able to run the ball consistently. At time, you can see the determination with Davis Price and the leg drive to at least get some positive yards.
6-0 line look here on 2nd and 7. flag. I believe they may have moved. Looks like illegal motion. Johnson just throws the ball away.
I think Palmer, who was going in motion, he started to cut upfield before the ball was snapped.
Discipline has been pretty good for this LSU team. Penalties really have not been one of their problems. They only average 4 a game.
Illegal formation on the offense, more than 4 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. We play second down.
Not left for our referee tonight. So Max Johnson, big 6'5" lefty, son of Brad Johnson, 15-year NFL veteran, Super Bowl champion.
What I love about this guy is his toughness. You know, he brings a spirit to this position. It's not been a great year, but one thing you can count on is 14 is going to compete. I'm sure his dad is very proud of that.
Couple starts for Johnson late in 2020. He's been the guy ever since injury to Miles Brennan, who broke his arm preseason.
They're pulling these linemen effectively. They're able to get around to the edge. They ran the exact same play to the left. They're a big run pass option team. So you see that fake pass from the quarterback after he hands it off. He's just trying to give the linebackers and safety a feel that he's throwing it just to try to keep them back and give his running back a little bit more room.
Jake Peets is the play caller, his first year doing that at any level of football.
Emptied the backfield. Davis Price all the way to the top.
4-man rush on 3rd and 4. Johnson has to throw it away. Backpedaled, got hit after the throw. No flag, and his 4th down. That was Phil Mathis, number 48, on the pressure.
Yeah, that's all just about the great coverage downfield. And honestly, Johnson does the right thing. You know, as a young quarterback, there's a tendency to want to hold on, try to make a play. You get a sack and couldn't locate that downfield. It's easy to see from up here for our cameras. You can see Jenkins jumping up around. This is actually where he's looking. He wasn't able to locate Jenkins there, but his eyes were off to the right. His read was to the right where there was all that coverage.
Avery Atkins is the kickoff man, the punter, and the holder. You go from a walk-on to getting a scholarship, then you get to wear number 18 on LSU. That is a career journey that's worth saluting.
Before the snap, timeout, LSU. They're first of the half.
He spent an early timeout. Must not have liked the protection there. Trying to pin Alabama deep. Under 1,000 strong inside Bryant-Denny. It's the AT&T 5G Skycam, AT&T 5G Skycast, streaming on ESPN3 and the app. Cold snap, they call it. It's going to be down in the 40s in the second half here, Kurt.
Love it, yeah. You love it.
Slade Bolden standing at the 10 to receive Avery Atkins' punt. And it's a fake and a jump pass, and they've got it. Complete. Mashburn, the tight end. Coach O with the trickery at midfield. LSU set up at the 25. You said nothing to lose, right?
Hey, throw havoc to the wind. Take some chances. He's right here, one of the upbacks. Kind of shows that he's blocking and releases. Alabama, this is after the timeout, and punt safe. They should be anticipating this. The only thing they were anticipating was the run. They completely lost sight of Mashburn, and there's Coach O taking chances. Why not? Roll the dice, especially early in this game. Get your guys to believe.
So an early stop, the missed field goal, now that fake. And the Tigers threatening to score first here. Play action, Johnson under pressure, lofts into the end zone, and there's a flag.
And that's a defensive hold.
Malik Neighbors, the true freshman, was the receiver. Two tied defenders there. Looks like the flag is going to be on Helms.
To me, it looked like Malachi Moore, and I mean, he grabbed onto his jersey. When it looked like Neighbors had a chance to go right by him, watch, he's about to go by him. He grabs onto his jersey.
On the defense, number 13, 10-yard penalty, first down.
You're talking to Bill Amanier. You can put your hands on the receiver. You can even grab a little bit when you impede progress like that.
Yeah, that's it. That's a good call. So they go fake punt. They follow it up with a holding call on the defense. Now they're in the red zone. You know, if you want to pull off an upset, you want to hang around at a game, you get into the red zone on the road, can't settle for field goals. You got to try to attack and try to get the ball into the end zone.
Red zone, of course, has been tough against this Alabama defense. Barely 50% touchdown percentage. Davis Price muscles ahead off the right side. They're still trying to push the pile. Picks up 2.
You know, this has been an interesting defense this year for Nick Saban. The whistle, they're calling him down. You know, it's been frustrating, to be honest with you. He and Pete Golding, the defensive coordinator, there's been moments they've had a series 2 or 3 where it looks like Alabama defense been dominant, and then they've had so many busts. They've had so many moments where they've miscommunicated. It's been very frustrating this year for this coaching staff.
And a handoff up the middle and running hard. Knocked down at the 9-yard line. Davis Price makes it 3rd and short. Yeah, he calls them lapses and letdowns. They'll be playing for a stretch and then inexplicably fail to communicate.
Yeah, it's just you're just not used to seeing that, you know, from an Alabama defense. I'll tell you what, man, Jack Mashburn, 82, he came to play tonight.
3rd and 2, and they loft it out. Thomas walks in the end zone. Brian Thomas Jr., the true freshman, gives LSU an early lead as they make good on that fake punt.
Remember, we talked about miscommunication, right? Miscommunication. Watch in the middle here. Henry To'o. Watch him on the inside here. What he does as far as the lack of communication. They have 2 guys on 1 receiver. That's why this opens up. Malachi Moore. Both follow the inside receiver. Nobody's out in the flat, and it's a touchdown for LSU.
Cade York's 110th consecutive PAT. Here's what got it started. They were ready for the fake punt run, but Atkins says, "Oh, gotcha." Little jump pass, and Mashburn, as you said, a big role on that drive.
Yeah, he's hitting people. He catches the fake punt. A miscue by Alabama's defense. Poor communication. And the LSU Tigers, this is exactly how they needed this game to start.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway and in part by Ford, built for America.
2 of the great offenses group you've ever seen in the long history of this sport. Back-to-back years, national champions from LSU and Alabama these last couple of years. Difference is Alabama has reloaded. You lose 6 first-round draft picks.
Incredible.
Maybe the roster's down a little bit in terms of raw talent. Ed Orgeron lost a bunch of draft picks off that. Look at the message.
I hear him say they didn't come to play. You know, questioning the desire and the attitude of Alabama maybe here early in the game. LSU came to play here, and they.
Atkins with a low kick, and on the bounce, taken by Williams, and he's got blazing speed, but is knocked down short of the 30. To Matt Berry for an update.
Hey guys, good evening. Rocket Mortgage studio update. Final sequence of Cincinnati and Tulsa. 4th and goal. Steven Anderson reaches the ball over, but fumbles it. They took multiple views, multiple angles. The call stood as a fumble. Cincinnati recovers, and they live to play undefeated football for another day. 28-20, the final from Cincy.
Wow.
They win, but the committee is certainly watching.
Oh, yeah.
Great show this morning on game day. The students did a phenomenal job. The football team didn't look like a top 4 team, frankly. Robinson, durable, steady, powerful back, falls forward. Keep an eye on the left leg of number 71 here, the center, Darian Dalcourt.
Yeah,
he plants Kirk.
He is the leader in the middle there. That is not a good look. They've actually made some adjustments. We'll go down to Holly here after this play, but you know, he went in to the locker room, so they've had to move Chris Owens, who's played center last year when Landon Dickerson would go out, so he's got a lot of experience there.
Moves over from right tackle. Play action. Young is chased. He's so good on the move. This is just a throwaway, but shows you why he's been hard to sack. He'd give it up 18 sacks. He'd be a much bigger number if he didn't have the escapability.
But this injury is big because of how it affects the communication of this offensive line. You know, all of a sudden, Damian George, a young tackle who has a lot of upside, but he hadn't played a lot. He's just a young guy. He's at right tackle. And you lose your right tackle who's now at center. So it kind of a domino effect with one injury. And this is an offensive line that has had some issues in pass pro coming into tonight.
Best pass rusher for LSU, Mason Smith, is out with an injury tonight, one of the many injured Bayou Bengals. On 3rd and 6, Young lofts it, catch made, but Mechie kind of retreated after making the catch, and he does not have first down yardage. It's 4th down.
It ended up bringing pressure here from Clark, so it opens up the underneath part of this defense. He had both Billingsley and Mechie. You're right, he came back, but I'll tell you, that's a good job of LSU's defense, bringing pressure, playing zone, keeping the ball in front of them, and having a great idea where that first down marker was and keeping him short of it.
Jesse Burnip, Alabama's first Australian punter, to kick it away. Trey Palmer, deep for LSU at the 25, and this LSU defense, a strong start. It's a booming kick and a retreat and a fair catch way back at the 15-yard line as Burnip does his job. Tomorrow morning on ESPN, NFL Countdown, the inside story of how the Phil Collins song "In the Air Tonight" remains a pregame anthem for many of the NFL's biggest stars. And on Monday Night Football, Bears and Steelers. We'll see Justin Fields, he's Big Ben in Pittsburgh. Steelers have won 3 in a row.
Tell you what, man.
Still playing catch-up in the division, though.
Again, I'm very impressed with what LSU has done defensively against Bryce Young in these first couple series to get the stops, to get the ball back to LSU's offense. I think this stadium right now is somewhat surprised.
No doubt, trying to make some noise as Johnson rolls, jukes, and just goes down. Didn't throw it away, and he'll take about a 4-yard loss.
Yeah, Christian Harris is out there, and that's what he has to do. Again, young quarterback, wants to stay alive, wants to make a play. Watch Harris kind of shadow him, kind of mirrors him, doesn't get him, let him get outside. And then look at the rest of the jerseys there. Once he gets outside and it's not there, just abort, throw it away.
Christian Harris, one of those guys from Baton Rouge. He's an Alabama player, but he does admit extra inspiration taking on the Bayou Bengals. He grew up an LSU fan, of course, in that town. So behind the 6, 2nd and 13. Johnson, little miscommunication. Cutting inside on the route was Besh, the tight end. And Johnson threw it outside.
But it had an option route, and he's been very effective for him. Jack Besh, 80, is a great young player. Coach O fired up talking to the officials, but that's just a miscommunication. He kind of had a inside route where he could have gone to the inside or the outside, and the quarterback read it to the outside because of the leverage, and Besh ran it to the inside, and now we've got the flag.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Number 14. That's loss of down. The ball being placed at the spot of the pass. It's 3rd down.
That's one of those intentional groundings where it's a miscommunication and not sack avoidance.
Bill, you have to help us. I mean, that's just a miscommunication to me.
That's what the officials have been being preached to. I don't personally buy into it. It's just a missed route. That should be a nothing but an incomplete pass.
Well, here it is right here. Quarterback reads, he thinks leverage is to the inside. The receiver feels, I can get him back to the go back to the inside, and instead it's a miscommunication, but a loss of down. That's why Coach O was fired up.
Yeah, it cost some 5 yards. The incompletion would have been 3rd and 13. Now it's 3rd and 18.
We're being way too technical on that call.
Amen.
Go draw here, screen. I mean, you just want to be very careful here if you're LSU.
Well, they are. You can't get more careful than that run. So that drive not productive, pinned back, and then they went backwards, and now a punt should give the Tide decent field position. You saw Orgeron, nothing like a lame duck coach. He's fired up. His blood is boiling this night, and he was mad at that early mistake.
He's still mad. See that. But Alabama's defense, with the help of that call, they dialed it up there themselves. Brought more pressure. Christian Harris, a good series there. They're going to get great field position here for Bryce Young.
JoJo Earl, a slightly built freshman receiver, back to receive the punt from the 35. Spins out of one tackle and is knocked down in LSU territory. So the Tide defense rises up, and the offense will take over in Tiger territory. 5:22. Bayou Bengals up by a touch. And before the world turned upside down, 2020 began with an incredible party in New Orleans, 15-0, but then the attrition. Of course, Burrow and 20 players went to the NFL. Coordinators left. Joe Brady goes to Carolina. You lose Dave Aranda to Baylor. and they made some hires that have not worked out. Linehan and Pelini lasted a year, and Peets and Jones were hired for this season. And it's not unprecedented to go from champion to being fired in 2 years. It happened earlier in the SEC, thanks to Alabama and Nick Saban dropping the hammer. That's the common thread.
Very rare, though. I mean, like you see the graphic, you just don't see that happen very often.
Nope. Really can only happen in this conference. They have not been able to get Robinson going, and that's because Damone Clark came to play tonight too.
Yeah, he is a guy that is going to impress you with his spirit. Watch his instincts and vision to be able to work through that traffic, get into the backfield. This is what LSU wants to do. They want to get into the backfield, create negative plays.
2nd and 11. Young spinning, buying time, and looking to launch. Finds it across the middle there. That's Latu, the tight end. He waited a long time. How long did they have the ball? About 14 seconds?
Yeah, I mean, this guy's a passer. He's a pocket quarterback, but this is what we've seen him be able to do. He's quick. He's like a point guard. He's not fast. He's quick. He's tough to bring down. What I love is he always has his vision downfield and eventually finds Latu there on the backside. Great play there individually by 9.
And a 15-yard gain. The LSU defense had to be winded running around chasing him.
It's demoralizing there too. I mean, because they did everything right. And then his, oh boy, another Alabama player, it's Cam Latu, just made that play. But yeah, it could be very demoralizing. You're playing well defensively, and then that happens to a defense.
Latu came here as a linebacker. You don't often see Saban switch a guy from defense to offense, but he's become a really effective tight end. Cordell Williams spelling Robinson in the backfield on 2nd and 9. Young takes a hit and delivers, and Williams trying to spin free, lost the ball. He went out of bounds. White McLaughlin was in coverage there. Knocked it loose, but the tide avoided turnover.
We've seen Jamison Williams. He's got so much playmaking ability. McLaughlin limps off the field. It's the last position that they can afford. They get pressure again, but he gets that ball away from his body. We've seen that the last few weeks. He's dynamic playmaker, but he's got to keep the ball in close because we see it how these defenders are going to knock it loose.
3rd and long. Well, you said it. They are decimated at corner. Really can't afford McLaughlin to be out for the rest of this game. Stingley, Hicks, and Cordell Flott also out of this game tonight for LSU. Play clock winding down.
Delay a game. It's unlike Bryce Young, unless they got a timeout on the sideline.
They took a timeout before that, but there was confusion. No, they didn't. No. See Matt Muffler consulting now. I didn't see a flag on the field.
Our penalty, 3rd down.
I mean,
there was no flag, but it is the delay. This is the story here.
Look, the defense, they came into this game with 8 starters from defense out, and you look at these guys, the secondary, Ricks and Stingley are maybe the 2 of the best corners in the country. Flott out tonight. Major Burns is safety. Now you see, we were talking to the coaches, who can step up? They said, well, we think Jones, 29. McLaughlin has an ability to make plays, but other than that, we don't have a whole lot of bodies left at corner.
3rd and 14, they try to bring pressure, and they get Young back at the 50. Mike Jones Jr. on the blitz.
Well, from Clemson, they said that he was going to get more opportunities to make plays tonight, and they bring both the linebackers, but eventually it's Mike Jones, who's a nickel back, who's wanted to go to LSU to figure out how to be a better middle linebacker, more of an opportunity to do that. How about how he gets around Brian Robinson, a veteran, a really pretty solid pass protector as a running back. He got right around him and makes that play.
Slight limp from Bryce Young as he trotted off the field that time.
Now we're going to have a
legal
penalty
substitution,
on
12
Alabama.
in the formation on the offense. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Wow, this is a very ragged start for the Crimson Tide in a lot of departments. They got fooled on special teams.
And by the way,
pass protection's breaking down.
They started that drive in plus territory. The first 2 drives, own 25, own 28. That drive at the LSU 48, couple big plays, and they start going backwards. The LSU chants from their fans that made the trip, that echoing.
Is not something we expected to hear a lot of tonight. Burnett High kick away from the returner, Palmer, and out of bounds. Back to Matt Berry.
All right, Chris, a couple of other SEC games to catch you up on. Tennessee and Kentucky. Hendon Hooker's completed 3 passes for 150 yards. This one, 72 yards to Velus Jones Jr. Tennessee up 14-7, and with a chance to tie it and send it to overtime, Nolan McCord misses. Wu Pig hangs on, 31-28.
Thank you, Matt. So LSU at the 20 after a 35-yard punt. Corey Kiner, the true freshman's in the backfield. He's got the football, and Kiner comes from Cincinnati. Plows ahead for about 3. Trying to spell Ty Davis-Price. We'll see Kiner, maybe Armani Goodwin, but we expect to see Davis-Price as the workhorse tonight.
Yeah, they're just trying to spell him, give him a chance to recover. Different kind of back with Kiner. Still has good size, but he's very, very quick if he can hit a crease. Keep going to that counter play, pulling that backside offensive lineman.
Kiner again into a wall and slammed down hard by Will Anderson, the emotional leader, the jack linebacker for Alabama.
Yeah, this time they do a much better job of being able to see how they're getting penetration. You've talked about 31, Anderson. You know, for a guy that's known as a pass rusher, he has heavy hands and is probably the best at being able to put a 300-pound lineman backwards into the backfield. And that time they said enough of that counter play. They penetrate and make it a good stop.
He's had a monster year, the alpha really of this Alabama defense as a sophomore. It's Josh Williams, the back on 3rd and 7. Here comes the pressure. Johnson stands, takes a hit, and delivers incomplete. Threw it into coverage. Tried to get the ball in a tight space there to Kirkland.
Well, they brought both their linebackers, Chris. Harris is actually out here. He's going to blitz here, but watch Henry To'o right here. He eventually gets the pressure. Somehow, Max Johnson at 6'5" is able to get rid of that football before he gets hit.
Tide get off the field quickly, 3 and out. And Atkins to punt it away. Earl makes a fair catch this time. I did make a fair catch. Thought he did. First coverage man was blocked, and he is hit immediately. No yards on the return. The Modelo fighting spirit moment today.
Well, I got to go back to the fake punt. I mean, a gutsy call by LSU. Jack Mashburn slides out. A little jump shot there from the punter, and a first down would lead eventually to the touchdown. Some confusion by Alabama. A couple defenders on one guy. Leaves it easy for Thomas to slide out into the flat, and Coach O said, we still got a little magic left. Still got a little magic.
You talked about the departure of Dalcourt, Owens sliding from tackle to center, how that could really be an issue. The offensive line play has been a little sketchy so far. Haven't been able to create creases for Robinson, and they've broken down in pass protection.
It's something to continue to watch, the right side, that line.
Pressure again. Young hit as he gets the ball out. It's just over the head of Williams, who was streaking down the field. Jay Ward was in the neighborhood.
Well, this is what I'm talking about with communication. Watch the pressure here. Remember, the right tackle, right guard, they're working new. It's new for them now. So a little bit of communication, and there was a good job of disguising the blitz there late by LSU. And I love the fact that LSU and Durante Jones are starting to dial up the pressure to challenge the right side of that offensive line with Damian George now in there at right tackle.
Alabama hasn't started a game on offense like this all season long. Final seconds of the first quarter, and tried to find Williams streaking down the field, but he was bracketed, well covered. Darren Evans, the corner that time, 3rd and 10.
And nothing against Darren Evans, but this is a guy that if everybody were healthy, he wouldn't be playing a lot of football. If everybody's here, he's from Nicholls State. You know, he transferred over, and he's out there on an island against Jamison Williams, who's been making everybody in the SEC look bad. So let's watch 24, and you know, you have Ray Jones, who played high school quarterback, still learning how to be a corner on the other side at 29.
So LSU defense trying to create another 3 and out here. 4-man rush. Young has some time, escapes, makes a head fake. He is so smooth on the run. Maybe not electric fast, but Boy, he makes guys miss. That was pretty.
And what made that even more impressive is the fact that they're in zone. Everybody on 3rd and long has their eyes on number 9. He can't bring him down. I mean, it's got Kyler Murray kind of feel to it in the open field, making people miss side to side.
But the Tide are down by 7 after a quarter in Tuscaloosa. Back after these messages. Pretty shocking quarter here in Tuscaloosa. ESPN College Football Primetime presented by Subway. This presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Alabama held scoreless in the first quarter. Kirk, for the first time since they were sleepwalking against Chattanooga back in that 16 season when they eventually made it to the championship game. 31 game streak since then.
Almost doesn't even count the Chattanooga game.
No.
Like you said, sleepwalking. This is serious. Movement.
This offense is out of
Guard.
sync. The protection hasn't been there. Young hasn't been very sharp yet. 6 for 12.
False start on the offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Neil Ekiyor to Holly Rowe.
Well, guys, you can see this offensive line is not working well right now. Their center is out, likely for the rest of the game. Darian Dalcourt with a lower leg injury for Alabama. But the good news for LSU, their corner, McLaughlin, is likely to return to this game. He just came out of the injury tent where they've retaped an ankle. He can return.
Thanks, Sally. That's good news. Not in the field at the moment as Dalcourt walks back out behind the Alabama bench, limping. 1st and 15. Young over the middle, throws a dart, and Mechie's got it a yard short of the marker.
Well, their answer right now, playing some younger corners, look at the cushion. So the answer for Bryce Young is, with that cushion, we got to throw underneath that coverage. If they're going to not walk up and challenge us, let's take that cushion and let's hit these underneath crossing routes, especially over the middle.
Redarius Jones is an ex-quarterback who's still learning the position.
Yeah.
This is what you call learning on the fly against Mechie and Williams in this Alabama offense. First down carry for Robinson.
You're talking about 29, and again, he's got upside. He's got great potential and a great future. He's a young player, but he played quarterback in high school. So he gets good reps in practice, but it's very different. 6'2", 170 out here against these Alabama receivers, Mechie and Jamison Williams.
This LSU defense that's been flattened by some running games this year has held up well so far against Robinson. 5 carries for just 7 yards for the featured tailback. Fumbled snap, and Young has to fall on it. Again, working with Owens at center, not Dalcourt.
Well, not only that, a lot of times they're at shotgun, right? So you're working in now under center. You're working with the new center. Owens has moved in, 79. The rhythm for people at home, the rhythm and even the feel when you get under center from one center to the next is different. So when you're in practice, you do CQ, center quarterback exchange, early before practice. You try to work with both centers that might eventually play in the game, but still it feels different. Now they're back in the gun.
Play action throw. Again, a huge cushion. Williams makes the catch. It is knocked down at the 39 by Jones.
Yeah, that's what Durante Jones is doing. He's pressuring, he's blitzing backers, but he's not walking up and necessarily challenging the way LSU traditionally would do. LSU is decades of history of outstanding corner play and defensive back play where they're going to challenge your manhood. They're going to step right into your grill and play press man. They just don't have the corners to be able to do that. So they've coming up with a different way, try to catch, keep everything in front, but still pressure by blitzing those backers.
Slade Bolden, the receiver, in a direct snap position, and he keeps it. LSU was ready for the wrinkle. Damone Clark throws him down. Another big stop on 3rd and short.
Damone Clark anticipating this. He sees 18 right away. And by seeing that, he now knows he's got to be able to take care of Robinson there, get off of Robinson, and make the play on the receiver.
What a play.
Big time play by 18.
Can't do it better than that.
Oh, that's textbook.
But Saban's offense still on the field. Now it's 4th down and 2. 3 receivers stacked to the left. Now Mechie comes in motion.
He motions him. The corner ran with him. Now he knows he has man-to-man. Now he has a matchup that he wants to exploit.
Look, his pressure off the right. It comes, and the ball is out, but it's incomplete. He knew where the pressure was coming from, but the throw was inaccurate as he backpedaled, and LSU gets a stop and a turnover on downs.
But he got what he wanted. he got what he wanted because he sees the matchup. He has Mechie one-on-one right here. He's just going to work underneath traffic, try to make it hard. Does a good job of taking the snap. He dumps it, but a good job at Bakersfield just kind of sliding back, showed blitz, sank back, and got in the way of the throw.
Crimson Tide, the focus a little fuzzy here. The fans here are stunned. They thought they'd be having a party, up a couple scores at this point already. Down by 7. LSU, though, a couple of 3-and-outs on offense since their 68-yard scoring drive. Davis Price stopped near the line of scrimmage.
Let's go back to that third down play, give you an idea what they're doing to this offensive line. They're bringing pressure to the outside. Remember, we have a new right tackle, right? Let's watch to see how he does here. See the communication? See how he's coming down? You got 2 blitzers coming from the outside. It's obviously a concern, and a good job again by Durante Jones, the defensive coordinator, coming up with wrinkles to confuse this offensive line, and they are hitting Bryce Young almost on every throw. I think it's affecting his rhythm.
That's a great point. 1 sack, but they pressured him 7 or 8 other times. Davis Price bursts up the middle and runs over a man. Stopped a yard short of the marker here. He's a guy that is capable of toting the rock, 20, 25 or more times a game.
Yeah, running hard. Offensive line. What a collision that time by Hines, 57.
They play with tempo on 3rd and 1, and they move the 6 into Alabama territory.
They're hitting people. I mean, Alabama's got to crank this up. This is not a game where you can just decide, okay, hey, let's get this thing going. You're still playing that uniform. You're still playing a team that there's not necessarily a shortage of talent. This season has gone sideways on them, but you talk to any coach in the SEC, there is still talent on this roster, and it has a sense of pride about themselves that they're playing with tonight.
Johnson retreats and throws it away. What did Saban say? When LSU has played well, they played really, really well.
Yep.
Look at the Florida game. Hasn't happened often enough for him to keep his job, Ogeron, but he's been able to count on the fact that when his guys do show up and execute, they're very capable.
And Coach Saban's honest. He told everybody before the A&M game, hey, I'm just telling you guys, going over to Kyle Field is tough. It's challenging. It's not going to be as easy as some of you are making it sound. They ended up losing that game. This week, talking with us and other media members, guys, I don't care what everybody's talking about. When LSU plays us, they're going to bring their A game.
Yeah, he was wary of the rat poison, as he calls it this week, and there was a lot of it. And boom, flying into the backfield is Will Anderson, just leveling the ball carrier. He is imposing.
Oh my gosh. They've been pulling these linemen, and all of a sudden Anderson is starting to get a feel for it. Watch how he just races into the backfield. His responsibility on that play is completely to take out Davis Price, which is exactly what he did. And sometimes, Chris, a hit like that can ignite some fire within a defense.
In the tradition of Anthony Jennings and Courtney Upshaw, Tim Williams, that jack position has been one of the feature positions in the sport. On 3rd and 14, it's a 3-man run. So they get the ball out quickly to Thomas, and he's going to fight hard, but he'll be brought down way short of the marker.
That series is Alabama defense right there, and especially the last 2 plays. That play, if Alabama comes back and ends up winning this game, that play by Will Anderson, there's certain ways to lead in college football. You can be a rah-rah guy, an emotional guy, or you can be a guy that leads by example in the way you play the game. Will Anderson right there could have turned this game around by making that play in the backfield. His defense definitely responded on that next 3rd down.
Will Anderson, by the way, as impressive when you talk to him as he is on the field.
Yeah.
And the punt off the foot of Atkins, out of bounds. Let's see where they'll spot it. And the Tide will try to get the offense going from the 23-yard line.
ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway, is brought to you by Liberty Mutual Insurance. Only pay for what you need. And Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com.
Kent State, Michigan State, Louisiana State, where he won a championship, took the Bayou Bengals to the promised land, took his talents to South Beach. That bothered him a little bit when he came back to coach Alabama to 6 more national championships. The folks in Baton Rouge, blood boiling.
Greatest to ever do it. college football coach. There's been so many good ones, but to me, he's the greatest.
No doubt.
And it just keeps going. Right now, he's got his hands full, though, right? 7-0, 8:58 to go in the second quarter.
He does, and he said he did expect a battle from LSU. I think he expected his team to show up more focused on offense. This has been extremely atypical. Sidearm throw on first down. Mechie makes the catch, takes the easy 6 or 7 yards.
Good recognition that time. His eyes were right on the corner. Had the ball in the stomach of the running back and felt that blitz from the boundary corner, immediately aborted and got rid of it.
Now he throws it back to this side. Mechie makes the catch. Shoestring tackle to prevent a big game by Fanua there, but it's a first down.
And now you can get a little bit of rhythm going. See what Bill O'Brien, offense that's been slowed tonight. You pick up a first down. Sometimes you kind of get your foot on the gas. Electing not to kind of create a little up-tempo, try to get LSU more on their heels, at least not yet.
It's Williams in motion, and Roydell Williams makes the cut, turns upfield, and got 7 on first down. Cam Lewis stopped him.
And when a defense is getting upfield and they want to get vertical, they want to penetrate and get in the backfield, one of the ways you can make them pay for that is having a back that has good vision. Run that outside zone, that's kind of stretch play, and then let them get out of position and then try to find a crease and get upfield in a hurry. And that time we saw Williams do that. A good feel there. Different kind of back when 23's back there compared to the bigger Brian Robinson.
Williams has some quickness, averaging almost 6 yards a carry. Sophomore from here, state of Alabama. Young pitches far side. Mechie again. He's been active already. 6 catches for John Mechie III. Another first down.
Nice job of clearing things out. You could actually, Bryce Young worked from his left, came all the way back to eventually find Mechie. Mechie, it's good to see him healthy. You know, he's had some back issues. You can see McLaughlin is back. He's had some back issues, a hip that's been bothering him the last couple weeks. He's been trending in a much better direction.
I wonder if McLaughlin is healthy. He's been battling injuries coming in, showing a lot of toughness. Holly reported that he was good enough to come back in there. But, boy, if your ankle, your foot, if that area of your body isn't right, you need to explode off that to cover these guys. He dropped way back, gave a ton of cushion.
Yeah, they have tonight. They're going to have to do that, especially against Jamison Williams, who's as good of a vertical threat as you see in the sport right now. And you're going to have to respect that and back off no matter what side he's on. Right now, he's opposite of Darren Evans. Darren Evans kind of walking up. You see a corner tonight walk up. Usually they're going to have some help.
2-by-2 look. Young patiently scans back and flips it to Williams in the flat. They didn't account for the running back, and he just stumbled kind of on his own. Will go down inside the 25-yard line. Big gain.
Yeah, he came off of the play fake and just worked out to the left flat. Left flat, nobody picks him up. He'll fake here and then just kind of work his way out to the flat. Watch the backer kind of get involved in the pass rush. Eventually he gets pressure, but nobody picks up Williams. It sneaks out of the backfield, and a really good job there. Bryce Young looks downfield, eventually checks it down to a back who can make a defense pay for it with the catch, yards after the catch.
Closest Tiger was like 20 yards away.
Yeah.
Got the football, 24-yard gain.
Yeah, Damone Clark, if he could have been able to see that, he ended up waiting, and then he brought pressure, but no eyes at all on Williams out of the backfield.
It's the first real explosive play for this Tide offense tonight as they move into scoring position for the first time. Yardage chains have been repaired. Good to go on that far side.
Matter of time till Bryce Young tries to look for Jamison Williams if he's left one-on-one. Right now he's down at the bottom. He doesn't have a safety yet. It's behind to help with Evans.
Young was looking that direction. Williams is covered, now scans all the way to the right and makes a beautiful throw just off the fingertips of Mechie. You can see the arm talent that time.
Yeah, left hash all the way to the right sideline to Mechie. And these corners are eventually going to get tested. If they don't have safeties to help them, I thought it might go to Jamison Williams, and instead it's Mechie who kind of deked McLaughlin that time, and eventually he just said, I'm just kind of taking this play off. Then he goes down the right sideline. He had him beat. The progressive pylon cam
got wiped out.
Takes a hit.
It was off his hands twice and off the helmet, but I think Mechie will believe he should have caught that one. Robinson lowers the shoulder. A flag comes out on that run. Looks like it'll be on the Tide.
Offense, number 81. 10-yard penalty. Replay, second down.
Thanks a lot to the tight end, so he's had a drop and now a holding penalty.
Yeah, he did. He held a young freshman, Greg Penn. Anytime you get to the edge like that, you wonder, was there a hold? 81, watch him grab onto 30, gets a hold of that jersey, pulls him back in away from the ball carrier.
It's 5 penalties already tonight on the Crimson Tide card. Sets him back 2nd and 20 now. Ball at the 34-yard line. Tigers only rush 3. Young scans and delivers. And Williams found a little hole in that zone, and it's a first down inside the 15.
I think this is the area where Jamison Williams has grown the most as a receiver. At Ohio State, he was a vertical threat, and he still is that. But being able to make plays intermediately and then being able to catch and then run after the catch takes him to another level.
Quick pitch far side. Mechie tries to make a couple guys miss. He does get the edge. So Williams there just kind of sensing the space, kind of just improv the route there.
Yeah. He just kind of sat in the soft spot. He read the defense. But what I love is he makes the catch. Remember, protect the football. He has a tendency to get that ball away from his body, but he protects the ball. And then his legs are so alive and dangerous after he makes a catch. See, he used to just want to go by people.
Leads the team in receiving yards. They couldn't find a spot for him in Columbus. I know that a lot of good receivers.
Yeah, they do. They do. He was frustrated and decided to look elsewhere. And thank goodness Alabama got him for the Tide's sake.
Big time free agent move from Nick Saban, who doesn't make a lot of them. Look at Robinson just power forward as they shove the pile right down near the marker at the 4-yard line.
Can assist from Evan Neal, one of the biggest offensive linemen in the country at 6'7".
One of the best, too.
Yeah, one of the best, 6'7", 350. Just pushing his way. Love when linemen, you're a quarterback or running back, there's nothing better in short yardage situations when the big linemen are just pointing to the sideline. Let's go, let's go. That means he's starting to feel good in the trenches.
Comes from Okeechobee, surefire Sunday lineman, the left tackle for the Tide.
Overloaded to the right.
Robinson could not run through the tackle. Damone Clark with those strong arms knocked him down, but they're at the 2, 1st and goal.
Yeah, the way LSU plays, Clark's going to make a lot of plays. Everybody occupies the offensive line. It frees them up. You can see good, hard running, though, by Brian Robinson.
Clark leads the nation in tackles per game at more than 12, and he leads this defense by 46 tackles over the next guy.
So chances are 18 might make a few tackles.
At 20 against Ole Miss, they lost the game, didn't play well as a defense, but it showed his heart. When you're out there, 20 tackles.
Yeah.
Play clock is winding down. Big jumbo package for the Tide. They snap it at 1. Robinson makes a cut and just bulldozes ahead. And the Tide finally on the scoreboard. 2:52 before halftime.
Watch the left side of the offensive line. Watch how they get the push here. We just talked about Evan Neal, 73. Could you run behind that, Chris? Look at 73. This is called moving a player. And then Brian Robinson lowers his shoulder and gets it into the end zone.
Methodical. Took more than 6 minutes. They were 77 yards in 12 plays. Chewed up a lot of the second quarter to tie this game. Didn't expect the Tide to take almost 28 minutes to get on the board. We are dead even here in Tuscaloosa as Robinson powers in to cap off an impressive drive. You can beat us in the club. They have the LED programmable lights during the breaks here. Good view from the blimp. Goodyear providing aerial coverage. Anything can happen as long as you have the drive. Goodyear, more driven. Coming up at halftime, you can hear the performance of the $1 Million Band on the SEC Network Plus, streaming on the ESPN app. Well, the Tide fans finally a little relief here. I mean, the fact that it's 7-7 near halftime.
This is one of those scores when you're out and about tonight. You hear LSU 7, Alabama 7. You're like, what? What's going on?
Check in on that.
What's going on?
LSU 2:52 to work with before halftime. Taco Bell Live My Student Section contest going on. Hashtag Student Section Sauce. Get the attention of the committee. ESPN.com/Taco Bell to see how your school can compete. So LSU, Kirk, they'll get the football to begin the third quarter. Wouldn't figure to be too adventurous here. Aside from that one drive, they've not done much on offense.
It's one of those possessions where you want to be smart. You're very content with 7-7. You get the ball to start the second half. It wouldn't bother you at all to get a first down and work a little clock here. Don't give the ball back to Bryce Young.
On the end around, they get the ball to Brian Thomas, and the freshman who had his first career touchdown reception earlier picks up 5.
The longer this game goes on and stays close, obviously the better it helps Ed Orgeron get his team to believe it can happen. They are a fragile team after the way this season has gone on. And when you're Alabama, it's like you're Mike Tyson, right? You're just looking for that uppercut. You're looking for something to kind of get them wobbly, and that's not happened. So LSU wants to just keep their aggressive nature, but they don't want to lose the game here at the end of the first half.
Yeah, you're right. They avoided the first round knockout. It's like they're getting to the middle rounds here, and they're even on the scorecard. And
exactly.
They would definitely have taken that at the beginning. Davis Price knocked down after a short game. Back to Matt Berry.
All right, guys, Mercedes EQ halftime report. Cincinnati get to win, but is another but we'll explain. Plus the top 10, all kinds of mess around there. And an SEC West battle. Who can maybe step up with Alabama for the crown? Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me coming up next.
Nobody gave the Aggies a chance in Kyle Field. Poor old Texas A&M somehow found a way to get it done today, defying all the Saturday morning pundits. 3rd and 4.
Look out for Jack Besh here, 80. He's very good, very effective in these situations. You got to get the ball out fast.
Johnson scanning and delivers into traffic. Karam is picked off. It bounced in the air, and Justin Armour Davis made the takeaway exactly why you said you got to be cautious.
Yeah, that was it. And Christian Harris makes the play. Outstanding job by Armour Davis to come up with the interception, but wait till you see the play by the linebacker, 8. It's incredible. He's right here. He's going to track this from the right side all the way over to the left. Now watch his vision. Back to the quarterback, left hand on the ball, knocks it right there, and outstanding reaction by 5, Armour Davis, to come up with that interception. But make no mistake, Christian Harris made that play.
Guy from Baton Rouge who played youth football against Davis Price and Damone Clark way back when. They had some talent in that town.
Oh, yeah. Just as we said, you don't want to lose the game at the end of the first half. Let's see if Bryce Young, see what he can do with this football.
Looking to throw on the slant. Williams tackled at the 25, a quick first down.
It's an RPO. He's feeling these linebackers flow. He's just feeling that. Once he sees that, pulls the ball out and makes a quick throw.
LSU defense scrambling, not lined up. Young launching for the 10-yard line. Ball was tipped. The flag comes out. Incomplete. It was Williams in the area. Did he make the catch? The ball hit the ground, but it is a penalty.
Yeah, they've got a penalty right close to where it looked like the catch was being made.
Did he hold on to this as a circus catch? It was just over the hand, off the hands of Bolden.
They're spotting it as if he caught the football here. Yeah, let's see.
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I don't think that was supposed to look like that. Bolden right in the area got a hand on it.
A completed catch. Holding on the defense, number 2. That penalty is declined. First down.
A funky play, but a tremendous catch by the long arm Williams. He did keep that off the grass.
Yeah, McLaughlin actually held early on the route. You'll see it. It's pretty easy to see when Jameson Williams pulls away right here, grabs a hold of him. I don't know if he actually got a hold of anything. He got a hold of the back of his helmet. Doesn't matter. The penalty doesn't matter. It's a good catch.
And this sudden change defense for LSU. He's reeling right now. 2 plays, and Alabama's got a 1st and goal. Exactly what Coach O did not want to happen at the end of this half. They played so well. Young, protection breaks down. He threw it into traffic, and it's off the hands of Latsu, who was well defended by the safety, Jay Ward.
I think Jay Ward has a bright future. It's 92. Farrell is down.
Talked about the injuries to the secondary, but you've got Ali Gay, Andre Anthony's also injured. Now Farrell down.
Jay Ward is a former corner who's playing safety. So he has corner instincts and an ability to kind of recognize the throw. See him ISO'd here. He kind of drops off. He's got the tight end. Remember, this is a former corner that's playing, man to man out there on a tight end.
It's like a hole they got away with when Alabama was Farrell, who's the man down, got grabbed.
Sure did.
So he got near Young in a hurry. You could say you want to be cautious. They wanted to trust the quarterback, but that throw into traffic, it was a great play to break up the ball by Harris and set up the interception. But still, I think they'd like to have that decision back at this point.
It's tricky there because you don't want to be too conservative, right? But it's 3rd and 4 on that play. Came in here with an aggressive mindset, going all the way back to that fake punt on one of their first possessions, which led to their touchdown.
Let's see what the Tide do on 2nd and goal here. It's been Mechie and Williams who've been the two-headed monster. They've caught 14 of the 16 completions by Young so far. 3 receivers stacked in a tight formation. Young looks to the right, fires to the end zone, and it was Mechie well covered that time by McLaughlin. 3rd and goal.
Again, there's a miscommunication there when you have an option to go to the fade to the back corner or go to the back shoulder fade. You can see the confusion. I think the quarterback Bryce Young thought, hey, let's go past him. You got him stacked. I'm going to go downfield, and Mechie wanted to come back.
Robinson, single coverage in the far right of the formation. Now he'll motion back in. Big play here on 3rd and goal. Final minute of the half. Tide all looking to the sideline for a signal. Play clock at 5. Got to hurry. Here comes the pressure. Young rolls away from it and throws a touchdown strike to Mechie. And the Tide take the lead for the first time. Bryce Young has settled into this game, and John Mechie's been his main weapon. Play by Harris sets up the pick, and the Tide with the short field take it to 39 yards in 5 plays. A deflating way to end the half for the 4 touchdown underdogs from Baton Rouge.
Yeah. So you got Mechie matched up one-on-one with McLaughlin here. He's going to work across the field. The cushion doesn't help at all. Gives him a chance to separate all the way across the field. Look at Bryce Young, again, handles that snap from the new center well. Then he's just baiting that defense towards him, and then there's the separation and the accuracy on the run from Bryce Young. Goes back to that decision on 3rd and 4. Took a chance. Accurate throw, but Christian Harris in great coverage makes a play on the ball. And Armour Davis comes up with that interception.
And then that ball off Bolden's hands. William makes the catch to set up the touchdown. And Young now with 27 touchdown passes on the season. Just the 3 picks. Not what we expected. Alabama's going to go to the locker room apparently with a 7-point lead. LSU has been held to just 80 total yards. They had 58 yards of offense on that one drive that featured, of course, the pass on the fake punt. Other than that, they've done almost nothing. In fact, Atkins, the punter, has more passing yards than the quarterback in the first half.
There's the drive chart. See how slow they started with the missed field goal, a couple punts, didn't convert on that 4th down. And then the big drive, the 12 plays, 77 yards. When we talked about Will Anderson, that play that he made, potentially sparking the Alabama team. Be fun to go back and look from that play what has happened for the LSU offense and what has happened for the Alabama offense.
I bet you they don't get too adventurous here. Johnson is hammered, and that's that man Anderson. Hit him in the face. Johnson's head spinning right now.
Well, that's the guy you turn to. He's elite. He's one of the best in the country. Thibodeau does get a lot of attention in Oregon, but Will Anderson is as good as you're going to find. Coming into tonight, had 9 sacks on the year, 17 tackles for a loss. Nice stunt. They lose him in the middle of that offensive line, and he gets free.
Georgia recruits really well, but it's hard to believe this dude grew up in Hampton, Georgia, and wasn't offered by the Bulldogs until very late. Alabama offered him. Then the Dogs came calling. He said, no, Mom wasn't having it. Alabama believed in her son early, and that's why he came to Tuscaloosa. He is a little bit inspired every game, but for that SEC championship game in Georgia, Will can't wait.
He'll be ready.
So the Tide, a late touchdown to take the lead. Will Anderson's mom. She knows her son's played a strong half. Time for the Mercedes EQ halftime report. Back to Matt Berry in the studio. Tied up 14-7 at the break here in Tuscaloosa.
Chris Fowler, thank
Arbor Serves Sorrow by Metallica, cranking at concert level here, Kirk. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by Subway. This presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Not the old-time Crimson Tide games. I tell you what, this is not what we expected tonight. Alabama begins the second half up by 7, but LSU fighting. One moment of inspiration in the first half, that fake punt that launched their drive.
We talked at the beginning of this game, LSU, a big underdog. What could they do? Throw caution to the wind, take some chances, which they did early, built the lead, and then, it felt like Alabama was able to regain the momentum. We'll see how this second half starts.
Yeah, the late interception cashed in for the touchdown, and now LSU will have to fight from behind, trying to get this offense going. Max Johnson trotting out. He was just 3 of 7 for 22 yards. PlayStation bringing the halftime stats here.
I mean, you can see the rushing for both teams. Look at the total yards. I mean, it's been dominant, especially the last couple of drives by Alabama. You see the turnover that they were able to force at the end of the half, and Bryce Young and company able to turn that into their touchdown.
Davis Price has to earn 38 yards the hard way and 11 carries. They test the middle here, and it is thoroughly clogged up. Will Anderson joined there on the hit by Mathis.
A nice play by Mathis in the middle. Just really solid, physical. Watching the trenches right in here. Watch the push that they get. Just kind of when it's called two gap, that's what this defense does. Those defensive linemen, they're just pushing. A lot of strength you're pushing on both sides of those offensive linemen, trying to leverage yourself towards the ball, and that time Mathis did that.
Mathis is high energy, man. He brings a lot of emotion. Another Louisiana native in this Alabama defense. Another run. It's Davis Price trying to break free. Almost lost the ball to Oto. Grabbed him. It's 3rd and long.
Yeah, I thought that ball almost came out. He was fortunate to. I think he bobbled it, and he was able to bring it back in.
They got a 3rd and long, Kirk.
They're down.
Quarterback has struggled lately.
Somebody's got to win one-on-one. Jake Peets is trying to create opportunities where Max Johnson can get some one-on-one chances.
Davis Price motioned out. Harris went with him. Now he's back in the backfield. Tide, only one defender with a hand on the ground. Here comes the pressure. It's actually picked up, and the ball gets out, and a completion for a first down to Jared Jenkins. They handled it well, that LSU front.
Yeah, they bring pressure right here, but watch them pick this up. Max Johnson, to his credit, eyes downfield. We talked about, can you get separation? Good patience in the backfield. Good job of waiting, and then Jenkins comes back to the ball, away from Armour Davis. Good timing, good rhythm there for the first down.
He pulled the receiver down on top of him, and Armour Davis is being looked at by the athletic trainers. Holly, what do you have?
Well, guys, I was able to catch up with Ed Orgeron, and I said, hey, do you have any more trick plays? I know you want to throw the kitchen sink. He said, we used them all up. That fake punt was all we have. I don't know if I believe him. He said, we do have to move the ball better. We're not doing a good job of that. He does like their defensive energy. He said, I think we've thrown some blitzes that they haven't seen yet this year. We're going to keep blitzing them every chance we get.
Yeah, Holly, that's worked out well, actually, the defensive package. And you do have to give credit there. Durante Jones, who came from the Vikings, he's been an NFL secondary coach, hired by Orgeron to replace Bo Pelini, and a good job so far tonight.
Oh, yeah, they are doing a good job of mixing it up. Good to see Armour Davis up and walking off of the field in his own power. Actually, looks like Josh Jobe is out of the field. We didn't expect to see him play.
Now, he didn't practice much, didn't practice at all on Thursday, and they said they'd be in an emergency use, and I guess they define this as an emergency with Armour Davis off the field for the moment.
There he is, starter, but not expected to play. But as you say, with an emergency, he's back in the lineup.
And Davis-Price has some room, makes a cut, loses the football on the ground, a scramble for it, and the Crimson Tide come up with it. So that time, Davis-Price could not hold on to the ball, and Toto ripped it out.
Yeah, Toto gets the ball out, a huge gain. I mean, what patience by Ty Davis-Price to let that hole open up, but give Henry Toto credit for ripping it out of there. And then after that ball was free for a while. There were a couple LSU players that had a chance to get on top of it. Watch him rip that ball out of there.
It's like Mathis came up with it.
Mathis eventually, look at the lineman. I mean, he got a chance. Shanahan, who's a center, is used to handling a ball, but his momentum took him by the ball, and eventually the big fellow, 48, Mathis, comes up with it.
The difference between Shanahan making that recovery at the Alabama 42 with a first down versus giving Bryce Young the football up 7 here. This LSU defense, which was strong at the start, got a couple of key third down stops, but vulnerable late in the half. Now has to try to keep this a 7-point game. And Young on a slant, threw it into traffic, tried to find Williams. That was an excellent play by Dwight McLaughlin coming back.
McLaughlin does an incredible job of jumping this route, expecting it. Watch him, sees the slant, reads it, and then ends up beating Williams to the spot with the ball. That's just, it gave him a cushion, but because he saw slant, now you want to go back maybe to a slant and go, a sluggo if you're Jamison Williams, because he really jumped that route.
Launches downfield, there's Williams, he's got it, touchdown Tide. The big play threat of this offense strikes from 58 yards out. You knew it was coming. You could sense it.
Yeah, you really could. They were jumping the underneath routes. So what do? You go by him, put him in the slot to get the matchup against Cam Lewis, who's a safety playing nickel with Flott out of the lineup. It's a mismatch. Doesn't get a hand on him, doesn't slow him down or reroute him. Look at this. You're letting one of the best vertical threats just run by a safety in one-on-one coverage. Got to be a bust there. Cam Lewis can't be left alone like that against Jamison Williams.
That's his 10th catch of 20-plus yards. He's got a couple of kickoff returns for a touchdown. He has made an enormous impact out of the portal and onto the field here in Tuscaloosa. And suddenly, it is a 20-7 game. Missed the PAT. Toto forces the fumble by Davis-Price. Mathis recovers it. And then finally, the deep strike.
There's the good look at Bryce Young. His focus downfield. You just kind of had a feeling with LSU, the way they were playing defense, make them pay for it. Bryce Young gets time and does that very thing. Uh-oh.
Pooch kick here, and it's going to be fielded on a couple of hops at the 20-yard line. And LSU will take over there. Suddenly down by 13 points. Tuesday on ESPN, women's college basketball. South Carolina ranked #1, taking on NC State. Kansas and Michigan State, part of the State Farm Champions Classic. The rankings will be revealed, edition number 2 at 9 o'clock Eastern time. You guys in New York
for that? Heading up to New York for that, yep.
Well, the missed PAT by Reichert's a story. He doesn't miss kicks of any kind, field goals or PATs. Snap on the hold, not well executed there. And now the ball is just snapped, but nobody was ready for it. Johnson was confused. It actually bounced off the chest of the back Kiner.
I think the center, Shanahan, hesitated. He kind of brought the snap up, then stopped. Watch 56. Before that, he moves himself. So
he bounced off Johnson's chest.
Yeah.
Delay game on the defense. Number 10, using the clap signal for disconcerting signal.
That's where the umpire.
5-yard penalty, first down.
The umpire.
That's where the quarterback wasn't ready. He wasn't the one clapping.
Well, the umpire who's right next to these linebackers, he heard Henry Toto barking out a cadence that affected Shanahan in the snap from LSU, and so it ends up going against Bama.
First down and 5. They fake it to Kiner. Johnson wants to throw a slant, but well covered there. Breaking up the play was Josh Jobe, who we said is the emergency corner, the one-time starter.
Remember we talked about the hit by Will Anderson? What's been the change since then? I said that may have ignited that Alabama defense and eventually their offense. Look at this. From that hit, look what LSU's offense has done. It's amazing how one play can spark a team's energy, and I think that play, Will Anderson deserves a lot of credit, not just for the play, but what it did to the stadium and to his defense.
And the offense, too. You're right.
Yeah.
3 straight touchdown drives for Alabama.
Yep. Let's go back to that because it's worth looking at. This guy's making plays all year. He's leading, but this is a quiet stadium until this play right here. They followed it up with a great play. The very next play, they got off the field, and it's just the game has felt different from that point on. So give 31 a lot of credit for changing this game, the tone of this game.
On 3rd and 4, Johnson escapes, tries to make a play with his legs, is slammed hard and knocked down short of the marker there. Dallas Turner joining Toto.
Dallas Turner, who's going to be a superstar. He's a true freshman that's been in there and had to play a lot because Drew Sanders has been down. Good job of settling his feet. Quarterback's out there, you're one-on-one. He's not known for his mobility, but he does a good job, and then Henry Toto ends up cleaning it up.
You're going to go for it on 4th down here.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, you don't want to give the ball back to Young again if you can help it. LSU, one of those moments here trying to stay in this fight. Need about 1.5 yards.
Blitz in the corner down here at the bottom. Get an extra hat in the box against the run.
Thomas, the receiver, trying to tell him that. And the play clock, you better hurry. It showed 0. And they didn't get it off. Unless they were trying to draw him off. I don't think that's the reaction that would indicate there was trickery there. That was just a miscommunication.
If you're just tuned into this football game, you should have seen the first quarter and a half, or the first quarter or so. I mean, it is such a different vibe. Alabama, remember, we read the lips one time of Coach O said they didn't come to play tonight. The stadium didn't come to play tonight. They thought it'd be an easy game. Maybe it'll end up being that way. But the early part of this game, it was not. And it's flipped completely from that.
Playing now.
Oh, yeah.
Atkins punt is taken on the run here. Earl darts forward. He is quick. Covers yardage in a hurry. Gets out across the 45. A 17-yard return. A very slow start for the Tide. Remember, they lost their starting center.
Yeah, and because of that, they've had to go to this. The last few routes, this is what we're last few possessions, this is what we've seen. Getting the ball out of the hands of Bryce Young. This is before the half. They were able to come up with a touchdown. A lot of those answers were, look at the time. I mean, this time now he's got a better job of protecting, tacks downfield, but a lot of the job that Bill O'Brien did to help that young right tackle out, Damian George, is just getting the ball out quicker against the pressure that Durante Jones has dialed up from this LSU defense.
On the end around, there's Williams trying to make a big play in the ground game. Got about 10 times as many pass yards as rush yards. You don't see Alabama by the way, leading by a couple of scores with now 27 yards rushing. They have not been able to get Brian Robinson much space against this LSU front.
Keep in mind that offensive line, with reshuffling the deck and moving Chris Owens to center and George to right tackle, they're not necessarily dominating the line of scrimmage, so they've had to rely on Bryce Young and the receivers.
Tigers showing a little pressure here on 2nd and 8. It's a running play and Robinson into traffic. By the way, Kirk, I'm told on the LSU sideline, quarterback Max Johnson is going into that tent to be checked out after that hit.
On that scramble.
Just popped out pretty quickly.
Good to see. This is a big 3rd down, for both teams. There's a lot of momentum right now that's favoring Alabama. They'd love to see that continue. And LSU, they're just trying to stop, get any kind of stop, try to slow down what Alabama is doing right now.
It's been all Williams and Mechie, each with 8 receptions.
Got Williams isolated at the bottom, one-on-one.
Mechie's off to the left with 2 other receivers.
It's a one-on-one matchup.
Snap it at 2. They get the ball off to the left. That's Mechie, but way too many Tigers in the vicinity. He's tackled right at the line of scrimmage there. Damone Clark got him, and it is a 4th down stop for LSU.
Yeah, good stop by the Tigers defense. Really surprised that they didn't try to get the ball to Jamison Williams, just because he had one-on-one coverage against a corner that he can win against without safety support. Instead, he throws it to the left to the bunch formation. There he is, isolated one-on-one against Darren Evans. Instead, he goes over to Mechie, and you got a lot of defenders there.
So with LSU's offense fumbling early in the 3rd quarter and struggling, that was an enormous moment for the defense, and they rose to the occasion to get off the field. The punt will be down inside the LSU 10, and Johnson is okay. Back to work, down by 13 now. Talking about the car wash, Kirk, the Saban car wash. You come off Nick's staff, you pull in, and you come out with a brand new car. McElwain off to Colorado State. Kirby
hilarious.
Smart to Georgia, of course. He's still there. Lane Kiffin to Florida Atlantic, and now, of course, at Ole Miss. Now to Steve Sarkisian. Get the Falcon car. Yeah. Pruitt had to go at Tennessee. Sark takes a lap, right? Because he came back to Alabama.
Yeah, that's right.
Back through the car wash, comes out burnt orange. And then Bill O'Brien.
Where's Bill O'Brien?
He's still in the car
there. He's still in there. That's pretty good. Brian Dable.
Bill O'Brien told us he's in no hurry to get back and be a head coach at this point. He was at the Texans enjoying calling plays for Nick Saban.
I had a chance to catch up with him yesterday, and what I really love about it is he said he's loved being back in the college game, and loves working with Coach Saban. And as you said, he's not in a hurry at all, but a name to remember sometimes is people are looking for college coaches.
Johnson on the move here and will scamper out of bounds across the 15-yard line. Matt, what do you have for us?
And the weather in Seattle is awful, so the ball's been all over the place. But here, Anthony Brown finds Devin Williams for the touchdown. Ducks finally score 6. They're now up 10-9 on Washington. They're late in the 2nd.
It was always going to be tricky. That's a bitter rivalry. You throw a little Seattle weather and the number 4 team up, approaching halftime.
Another wacky day of college football.
I love it as the stretch drive begins. We're in November now. Flag out on that short run. It's in the holding area. Goodwin knocked down after a short gain. Boy, LSU's offense, the last thing they need is a penalty to make things even tougher. They've been sputtering a bit.
Personal foul, hands in the face. Number 57 on the defense. Correction, number 48 on the defense.
Called Mathis
number 57's
with the penalty.
Helmet came off.
He took the helmet
from
off.
the infraction. Therefore, he
Chasen
can't stay in the game. First down.
Chasen Hines, 57, right guard. Watch his helmet come off. 48. Mathis gets his hand up into the face mask and knocks the helmet off. It's a 15-yard penalty, and LSU all of a sudden kind of pinned back deep in their own territory. Now they've got decent field position.
Ball to 34 now.
Hard to drive the ball, man, on this Alabama defense. You need some explosives. It's tough to do it 12 and 13 plays.
It's good one inside. The 7th penalty, by the way, on the Crimson Tide. Tim Smith wrapping up the ball carrier.
You know what I mean? I mean, you've got to rely on these young receivers. You know, that's the biggest thing that they need. With Keyshawn Butte out, who is a difference maker, an elite difference maker, you're turning to a lot of true freshmen. And a lot of these true freshmen have tremendous upside, but they're just young guys that got to go up against a talented secondary like Alabama, but you got to hit some big plays.
Yeah, Butte had 9 touchdowns in the 6 games that he's played. He's still got 10 more catches than anyone on the team. Right. He's been out 2 games.
Yeah.
Johnson flips it short. That's Besh, the tight end. And he'll set up 3rd and about 4. Holly?
Well, guys, Jalen Armour-Davis of Alabama has been taken to the locker room. They're calling it an upper body extremity, but I can tell you as he took his step outside of that injury tent, he was really wincing and holding his breath. That looks like something to his right side.
Yeah, he pulled the receiver down on top of him when he hit the ground. That's how he got injured. They flip it short, and Goodwin out of the backfield is knocked down. It's going to be 4th down and a yard for Orgeron now at his own 44.
Yeah, we saw him go for it. Was going to go for it, and then they had a delay of game, pushed him back. They ended up punting, or he's right back near midfield, saying that they're going to go for it again. Bama trying to get DJ Dale onto the field, and because LSU substituted, Bama has plenty of time.
Hand off on 4th down, and they push the pile and get a crucial 1st down to keep this drive going.
That's tough to do, right? When Bama knows that you're going to run up the middle, 4th down and short, you have Besh, who's really not a tight end, lined up as a tight end trying to block Will Anderson, who got down just a little bit late before he could make an impact on that play. So the Tigers do pick up the first.
Did you say block Will Anderson? They haven't done that all night. He's made 9 tackles, 4 of them behind the line, sack and a half. Good protection. Here's a downfield shot. Neighbors, the true freshman, was well covered, and it's too long for him. Jordan Battle, the star safety, rarely targeted. He's a tough DB to beat.
Yeah, Jordan Battle has the ability. Boy, he's hauled over him running downfield. He's grabbing onto his hip. He grabs onto his shoulder. He gets away with some contact there, Bill.
I don't know. We had a conversation about this, Bill. He touched him. Was it enough to impede him there?
I see him losing a step because of it.
Okay.
So I'd support a flag there.
Yeah, I agree.
It happens a lot in the SEC. Johnson on the move here. Scanning, and will again take it off. He's made a couple of nice scramble gains here in the 3rd quarter.
6'5", 220 pounds. Has speed, but it doesn't have, obviously, the quickness what we're seeing on the other side of the Bryce Young. But when he gets going, man,
long strides,
he can go. Yeah.
3rd and 4 again. Goodwin is knocked down, and again it's going to be 4th and 1. This time with the Bama 46.
Pretty good push in the middle. They're just getting pressure off the edges there.
Now, what do you call, Coach? Are you going to test the middle of this Alabama defense again on 4th down? They got it last time, but barely.
I don't know if you can go inside there again, although they are getting a pretty good push.
Dallas Turner, the middle linebacker, out of the game. Different formation. Handoff, Davis Price had to dodge a tackler in the backfield and falls forward for the 1st down.
Yeah, he's known for his power. Watch the push in the middle. Good job again, 82 Mashburn, doing just enough there. See him come from the right, kind of a wham block. Does a good job of getting in the way and slowing down 31 Will Anderson, who's just dying to knife down and make a play in the backfield.
Toe came flying in, but a little bit out of control, trying to make the play. Drive continues. 2 4th down conversions now. Over the middle. Pass complete. Wide open is Trey Palmer. Little stutter step move. The Tide lost him. And LSU set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, by motioning, this is how you impact this Alabama defense. You give them
at the end of the play, Kurt.
I saw that late flag. Give them a lot of different looks. Try to affect the communication, and that's what they did. They messed with the eyes.
On the offense, number 13. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. 1st down.
That's a spot foul. LSU will still be set up in the red zone here.
By just using that motion prior to the snap. Watch the motion here. Now watch 13 right here. Malachi Moore. He's affected. He runs downfield. You got 2 defenders, and nobody ends up picking up Trey Palmer. So it's the second time we've seen, this has been an ongoing issue on the back end. They get confused with some pre-snap movement. They had trips into the boundary, affects the eyes, and Max Johnson makes them pay for it.
The 34-yard gain before the penalty moves the ball back to the 20. Davis Price wrestled down off the end. That's Chris Braswell spelling Anderson at that position.
It's been a heck of a drive. Remember, I talked about how hard it is to drive the ball on this defense. They got 12 plays, 70 yards so far.
2 fourth-down conversions on short yardage. For LSU, you want to have a chance at going home with a W, a shocker. You need 7 here. Pop the ball around to Palmer, who made the big catch earlier, and he has dragged down, and the flag comes out. Looks like Battle got the face mask.
They definitely got a hold of that. Jordan Battle just trying to keep the edge to this defense.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense. Half the distance.
It wasn't a face mask. They called a horse collar kind of in the front of the jersey, Bill, that time.
If you're at the side or the back, that would be a horse collar tackle. But
Bill, take a look at this.
Yeah, I disagree with the call.
Yeah, I didn't see
He's
that.
got him from the front.
That's not really the intention of the rule, is it? They
Bill,
try to prevent
like
that tackle from
he
behind.
grabbed the shoulder pad as much as the jersey.
Exactly. So
I didn't think that was a call at all.
It looked at the end of the play like he was looking for some help from another official, but nobody could get the view to help him.
Tigers catch a break.
1st and goal, ball just inside the 9. Johnson from the pocket delivers. Catch made. Besh turns, dives, touchdown, LSU. Who says hush to the crowd. Finally, LSU able to find the end zone. A long drought since that opening touchdown.
That's a great matchup for them. Watch him go up against Harris. 8 does a good job of feeling this. Look at this. Look at the cushion there. You can see that Max Johnson trusted, gets the ball out, and then he makes a nice play after the catch to get it into the end zone. Inside leverage made that route to the outside very easy, and Besh is becoming one of the favorite targets of Max Johnson.
He sure is. Among the guys who are on the team, not Boutte. He had the most catches coming in from Lafayette, Louisiana. You saw him in pregame. You kind of like the look of this freshman.
I really like the look of him. Really a receiver playing tight end. The progressive pylon cam shows that he extends and gets into the end zone. 14-play, 89-yard drive by this LSU offense. They're back in this thing.
Bet they can hear this music in the blimp. Goodyear providing the aerial coverage, plays that move you forward. Goodyear more driven. They did not.
Hey man,
they did not buy cheap speakers for.
Let me just say,
when they redid it.
Game ops has never been a bigger deal in college football and in sports than right now. If you're looking to visit this stadium and come listen to a seminar on game ops. They got it figured out here.
Well, they make the experience fun for the fans. A lot of times they'll kind of rely on the brand, but now these days fans want to show.
The TV breaks are as exciting as the game.
All straight celebration moment today.
How about Purdue? All this talk about they might pull off an upset. I thought it was too much talk. I thought Michigan State would be ready. They were ready. Guess what? Didn't matter. Purdue with a statement win. And Jeff Brom, he already knocked off Iowa when they were at number 2. And again, they knock off another team that had big dreams. They take down Michigan State after the big win last week that the Spartans had against Michigan.
Robinson is slammed down in the backfield. Quick penetration by Jaquelin Roy. Defensive tackle. They have smothered the Alabama running game tonight.
They really have. Winning up front, getting off of blocks. Undefeated teams. We saw a couple more go down today. See at the bottom there, Michigan State and Wake in a shootout against North Carolina. So we have 4 remaining, 3 that everybody's focused on there that are near the top of the rankings. Georgia, of course, at the top.
Low top pressure, barreling through to make the sack is Neil Farrell. And this LSU defense suddenly building the momentum after the touchdown. Tide going backwards.
Yeah, and look at the offensive line here. You've got a guard that's going to pull around, and you get pressure through the middle. This is a tough ask, right? There's just a miscommunication. Remember, we don't have the starting center. Dalcourt is out of the game. Owens has been moved to center. And on that protection there, nobody picks up the big fella, Farrell, right in the middle of the defense.
Interior D-line has made back-to-back big plays, and it's 3rd and 23 for Young. 3-man rush, delivers short to Robinson, and he'll be knocked out at the 19. Wow. So LSU, that grinding drive, now they force a 3 and out. We'll get the ball back, down 6. Final minute, 3rd quarter.
Yeah, he didn't want to see Coach O there. Everybody get off. We don't want any personal fouls. Let's go. Stay away from it. Jamison Williams is a guy that likes to get active, likes to talk a lot of trash. He's trying to keep his players away from that. They just got a big stop. The big drive you talked about, 3 and out. LSU, Max Johnson going to get the football again in great field position. That miss extra point.
It's looming a bit.
It is.
Say you wondered, would LSU, though, when they went down 13, took a couple of uppercuts. Orgeron told him, be ready for the pain, embrace it, respond to it, and they have fought back well. Back to Matt Berry.
All right, guys, some other highlights from around the SEC, and quite frankly, this one is stunning in South Carolina. Florida down 23-10 to the Gamecocks. Jabari Ellis gets it loose off Emory Jones. We have a scoop and score at the Barnyard. It's at the half. 30-10, South Carolina over the Gators.
Matty Berry, what are you talking about?
4 and 5 with that loss, unless they rally.
Oh my gosh.
Johnson gets it off, and the catch is made underneath again by the young tight end Bash, who just caught the touchdown. Battle on the tackle. Texas A&M and Ole Miss, that's where College Game Day built by the Home Depot. Go back to the Grove. We had such a wonderful time there back in the day at 14.
And those rankings will change after today with some of these upsets. Who knows where both of those teams will be? We'll find out on Tuesday night, but it'll be fun to bring Game Day back.
And in beating Auburn, Ole Miss beat Liberty. Final quarter coming up, and the Bayou Bengals very much hanging around, down only 6 after these messages. We're back for the 4th quarter. Watching a presentation of the SEC on ESPN, and set for the 4th quarter. And this one in Tuscaloosa has had a lot more drama than most folks expected. You're just tuning in. LSU converted on a fake punt in the touchdown drive to take the lead. Bryce Young in the offense took a long time to get going, but then they scored 20 unanswered. Back-to-back 3 and outs, though, for the Alabama offense, Kirk, since then. And the Tigers get the football back, down 6. Johnson will take a loss as Dallas Turner drives them out of bounds.
This is a great play by the young freshman, 15, Dallas Turner. Watch him come off the block, keep his outside shoulder. He takes on an offensive lineman, gets off of that. See 15 right there, gets off of Hines, keeps that outside shoulder free, keeps the leverage of that defense, and forces the quarterback inside. And nice play.
6'4" long, #1 recruit at that edge position in the country. St. Thomas Aquinas High School in Fort Lauderdale. 3rd and 13. Crowd's back in it. 3-man rush. Johnson has time to survey. Nobody open. Forced it across the middle, and no chance to make a play. And it's a 3 and out.
Yeah, they rush 3. Eventually, they get Harris, who comes free at the end. But this is a good job. Look at the coverage downfield. What are you going to do if you're Johnson? Where are you going to throw the football? Nobody open. Got a receiver there.
Receivers on 8 guys.
Yeah, there was nobody. It's 7 guys and 4 of them that were downfield. Just nobody open.
So Bama's defense gets the stop, and JoJo Earl to receive the punt of Atkins, and it's a false start. Back up LSU 5 yards.
False start. Offense, number 13. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
One of the shocking things about this game so far, and a serious concern for fans here, wondered why this ground game has lacked a big play punch. It's just not necessarily Brian Robinson's style, but you look at the sack yards in that last drive. Alabama's sitting there at 13 rushing yards for this game. It just hasn't been there at all
No.
against this LSU front.
And again, I think a lot of that has to do with that offensive line. And what we see LSU with Durante Jones, he's brought pressure on Bryce Young. I mean, that's been the answer, is to try to come after this offensive line and come after Bryce Young. But to their credit, as this game has gone on, we've seen Bryce Young get a little bit more time, get the ball out a little bit faster. But that is LSU's plan. They have been blitzing him, and you can see as this game is wore on. Look at Bryce Young against the blitz, 12 of 19, 155 to the 2 scores. I don't think LSU will change that plan. I think you'll still see them with those backers that are going to be coming after him.
See if Bill O'Brien remains patient with the running game, where just turns Young loose as a passer. That's a short catch. Bowled in with a stiff arm, driven out after a 7-yard gain.
All things considered, with how young this secondary is and what's been asked of them to try to stay with Jamison Williams and John Mechie and Bryce Young, think about that. You don't have Eli Ricks. You don't have Derek Stingley. You're playing with guys that are good players, but pretty inexperienced. These guys have played well. The plan's been great to try to keep the ball in front of them. They've done that for the most part. It's been a heck of an effort tonight by LSU.
3 best corners are out. Add a lot to that list. Young picks up the fumble, shows composure, throws it across the middle. He got pressure by Farrell.
Farrell has been everywhere tonight. Went down with an injury. And they made a good point with us. Having Glenn Logan back in the middle, they've been rotating Logan in there quite a bit. We've seen Roy in there. Logan coming back into the game right now. It's really helped free up 92 Farrell to make more plays. Guy who's been around. There aren't a whole lot of faces around from that 2019 team, and he's one of them.
3rd and 3. Young, pressured, escapes, but he'll be dropped right at the line of scrimmage. And that's Roy getting in there. Another 3 and out for Alabama.
Remember I talked about they're blitz, blitz, blitz. Look at these backers. They're going to blitz. Nope. They give them a different look. Change it up. Make this offensive line have to think. It affects Bryce Young. It affected him because they sat back in zone. Pre-snap was man-to-man blitz. Post-snap, they drop the linebackers. They sit back in zone. They confuse the quarterback, and they affect the rhythm, and they, again, get a stop.
Durante Jones continues to make some smart moves, coordinate this LSU defense, and the Tigers are playing hard, and they get the football back again in a 6-point game. Palmer backpedals and makes the fair catch at the 18. 12:36 left in Tuscaloosa. Tigers a chance to take the lead with the score. Well, I tell you what, this is a look at some of the key plays if you missed it. Here's the jump pass. Atkins to Mashburn, the tight end. That was would lead to a touchdown for LSU. Jumped on top 7-0.
We talked about LSU had to take some chances. They did. That led to the touchdown. Then Bama just kind of settled in. LSU sitting on the underneath routes. They take a shot downfield to Jamison Williams, and it looked like, okay, here goes Alabama. They're going to pull away. But the Tigers start to make a few plays. A 14-play drive, 89 yards, and a touchdown. And now they're within 6 and have the football.
LSU was on the ropes. Then that defense is forced back-to-back-to-back 3 and outs against the Alabama offense. Johnson on the move. Ooh, dangerous throw. Getting a hand in to break up the play was Malachi Moore.
Boy, Malachi Moore settled in, had a really good position there against Jenkins. Knew he wasn't going downfield. Johnson's been getting to the edge of this defense easy. Throws that ball, and Malachi Moore, with his eyes on the quarterback, steps in front of it. The only thing he didn't do was secure the ball.
First down.
Penalty for ineligible man downfield as Johnson bought time. One of the linemen went beyond the 3 yards from the line of scrimmage. Penalties have not been a problem for LSU really most of the year. They had a lot of problems. Penalties not one of them. That's the 6th tonight. Makes it 1st and 15.
Field position important late in the game like this. They need to be able to move the ball a little bit just to try to, if nothing else, they don't want to give Alabama great field position, and Bama's thinking the opposite. Alabama wants to keep them right where they are to get a decent return from JoJo Earl.
Long throw, far side. Catch made.
Nice
and Jenkins, nice gain that'll set up 3rd and short.
Really nice play after the catch. That's an important play in this football game, and not just accepting that he made a catch. If they tackle him right there, it's a 2-yard gain, and instead it's a big gain. It sets up 2nd and 2. Good effort there, not to just catch that ball and be satisfied with that.
You've got Goodwin, their smaller back, in the game in the 2nd and 2. They fake the reverse. Johnson lofting it downfield and way overthrown. It was Goodwin out of the backfield, went out of bounds, covered by Moore. Holly?
Well, guys, this is such a unique situation for LSU. The coaching staff knows they're out of a job in a couple of weeks. A lot of players are sitting out or injured, and yet here they are, only down by 6 to one of the best teams in the country. These guys are fighting hard over here. I'm impressed with what I've seen on the sideline. These coaches, even though they're out of a job, they are coaching their you-know-what's off. A lot of pride over here for the Tigers right now, guys.
That's a good observation, Holly. I always said to expect this. They need to get 2 on this 3rd down to keep the football. And Davis Price is going to do it. They've been able to convert on 3rd and 4th short yards.
They really have. I mean, the toughest thing to do against the Nick Saban defense is run into the teeth of it, right? In between the tackles. But it just shows you they're getting a good push by Ingram and Shanahan. You can see Coach O. Hines doing a good job at right guard. And Davis Price lowering his pads.
Davis Price again picks his way. Again, his career winding down. This is the final road trip for LSU in Orgeron. They finished with 3 home games. He doesn't want to coach again. He's 65. We know that buyout. He never has to work a day in his life. I told him dinner's on you the next next 10 dinners.
Yeah.
But this is it, Kirk. This is a chance for a signature shocker on the way out. If his team can come from behind and win here.
Yeah, I think he had confidence all week. He said that it was the best week of practice they had. Players know. They know who they're playing. You knew they were going to come in here and fight. You just didn't know would it last 60 minutes. And up to this point, it's been impressive.
And the delay, slow developing play. And Christian Harris was there to drag down Davis Price. Now it's 3rd down and long.
Remember, they have confused this Alabama secondary a handful of times with motions and different looks to try to create confusion with the safeties, which has been, again, a problem at times this year for Bama. I'm sure Jake Peets is still trying to hold on to a play or two to try to do that again with a bust in the back end.
Empty backfield. 4-man rush, lots of time, and a shot to bash the tight end has been a really effective weapon tonight. It's a 1st down.
Favorable matchup right here. Watch how he's able to get separation. Soft coverage, a little push, and then there's the separation. Now, again, he's lined up as a tight end. He's really more of an H. They kind of flex him out as a tight end, make him more of a receiver. But he's got such a natural feel as a route runner. And I think Max Johnson's in sync more with 80 than anybody else on this offense.
I think you're spot on. 5 catches for Besh. Goodwin's the back. They flip it short, though. Interesting route there. And then it's John Trey Kirkland making the catch, still fighting for yards. He has slammed down hard. And there's a little scuffle after that. Tigers did not like the way he was tackled at the end of the play.
This kid, Kirkland's got versatility. What I like there is he waited. I loved how he waited and waited for the line to eventually get there. Good patience. Then he gets behind that convoy and picks up good yards.
Kiner running, still fighting. He'll be about a yard short of the mark. Another 3rd and short. Got a couple plays to pick it up here.
The big fella's not in there. They don't have Davis Price. They'll go with the young back.
On 3rd down, they do hand it to Godwin. He didn't have a lot of heft to him. He's really been 185 pounds. Comes from Birmingham, so near his home territory here. It's yet another 4th and short now.
Yeah, but that time you saw a different push from Alabama, and I think Will Johnson was right in the middle of that. Or Will Anderson, rather, right in the middle of that, helping on that push.
Going to bring in Davis Price now.
Yeah.
He's carried a couple of times for 1st downs. On 4th and short, Garrett Dellinger makes it 6 offensive linemen look here. Another one of those crucial plays for this Bayou Bengal offense. Davis Price, 1st down and a lot more. Breaks into the secondary and is finally dragged down inside the 10 by Battle. LSU threatening to take the lead.
Watch this play. Watch how they get the initial spot by Anderson, or by the back here, Davis Price, as he's bouncing to the left. He reads the blocks. Look at 72 and 76 push down, and then the acceleration to be able to get through that hole. He initially looked like he was going to work his way back to the left. He felt the hole open up to the right, saw the grass, used that vision and that speed.
Shanahan had a teammate fall on his legs. They'll take a look at him. We'll take a break.
ESPN College Football Primetime is presented by the Eat Fresh Refresh at Subway and in part by Goodyear. Discover the possibilities. Goodyear, more driven.
Chris, his fourth down play, everything on the line. Remember how miscommunication's been an issue for these guys? Look at this. Look at the confusion with the jet motion. And look how they both get frozen and held on fourth down. Not quite on the same page. 9 and 13 have to step in and make a play on 4th and short. Confused by that formation and that motion.
1st and goal after the big run. Davis Price, stutter step, and is dragged down. Excellent tackle in the open field by Christian Harris. Wouldn't let him go.
These linebackers have been active against this run game. See Will Anderson collapsing down. Outstanding play right there by Christian Harris. He's made plays against the pass, also against the run.
Shanahan, who was hurt in that 4th down conversion, back in the game at center. 2nd and goal. This is good stuff. LSU, massive underdogs, trying to take the lead. Tide defense trying to preserve it here. Johnson from the pocket, nobody open, and just has to throw it away. He lofted it to the pylon. Will Anderson was in his face. 3rd and goal.
Pete Golding, Nick Saban going with a matchup zone. Eyes on the quarterback, heads on a swivel, taking away all the crossing routes. Great disciplined defense there. And Max Johnson, all he could do was throw that ball away.
Where can he find a play? Is it Jack Besh, the tight end, number 80, who's been an effective weapon?
This is where Jake Peets has got to find his matchup. One of the young receivers. Can he get that separation and win one-on-one? And Coach O calls a timeout.
Yeah, he had to. The play clock was winding down there, trying to get things lined up there. An enormous 2 plays ahead in this college football season. High above this raucous scene in Tuscaloosa, Goodyear Blimp providing aerial coverage with you for every mile on the road to greatness. Goodyear, more driven. Speaking of driven, LSU, 13th play of this drive coming up, Kirk. They've driven it 74 yards. Now a 3rd and goal from the 8. Into all this noise.
They got Trey Palmer in the slot against Malachi Moore.
Plenty of time on the play clock. Johnson swallowed up. Ball is loose. Mathis going for it. He's got it at the 20-yard line. Alabama's defense rises up to make an enormous play as they try to stay alive in the playoff chase.
Big time play by one of the veterans of the Alabama defense. Just never gave up on the play. Johnson holding on to that ball too long. Nobody open. He's got to feel that, and as he grows, he will. Interesting for Bill to be able to comment on that. I don't know if that ball was knocked loose. I think his arm and hand were coming forward, Bill, and the ball came out.
Plays under review right now, but I see him in firm control.
Rolling on the field with a fumble recovered by Alabama. The previous play is under further review.
It's a tuck situation, isn't he, Bill? The judgment has to be for the replay crew, Gerald Hodges. Was he trying to tuck the ball away, or was it a pass?
I don't see a tuck. I see him still trying to get rid of it. I have a forward pass on this
I'm with you, Bill. And initially when Mathis made contact, the ball didn't come out. So he still has firm grasp of the ball. And then he starts to bring his hand forward, and the ball comes out.
This real-time look at it. The arm is definitely coming forward. Is the intent, though, to tuck that ball back or to throw it? I know the officials aren't told to read minds, Bill, but how do you see this one? You would have this incomplete.
You know, tough one from the field to see. You can't see through the back of the quarterback as a referee. But this view here, he's trying to pass the football. This is an incomplete pass.
Mathis, you're right, though, made an enormous play. One of those Louisiana natives. He comes from Wisner, and he not only forced that fumble, but recovered it back at the 20. And see if it stands. Gerald Hodges, the replay official, along with Matt Leffler. It's going to be 4th down if it's an incomplete pass. 4th and 8, and a decision for Orgeron if he gets a chance.
After review, the quarterback's hand was going forward, therefore it's an incomplete pass. It'll be 4th down and 8. 4th and goal on the 8-yard line.
Another look at it.
Again, the important thing is he didn't lose control of the ball there. I thought Mathis may have dislodged the ball, but he did not. And then the arm comes forward. That's why see Coach O with
the go for it.
Yep.
Not a 1st down, Coach. It's a 4th down, but you're still in play here. And you like the decision? If you don't
I do. The way their defense has been playing, I want to circle and show Jack Besh because he wasn't on the field on that last play. He's going to be in the middle. I'll show him to you right here in the middle. That's Johnson's favorite target.
Johnson looking right, scanning across the middle, leaping, and it's incomplete. It was over the hands of Trey Palmer, and Bama's defense makes a stand. Orgeron choosing not to cut the lead to 3 there with the field goal.
Heck of a play by DeMarco Helms. Watch this move right here. He's looking. His eyes are over here, but eventually he works back over here. Heck of a play. Read the quarterback's eyes, came off of the receiver, followed the eyes, led him over to be able to be there just in case to help out with Brian Branch. I like the call because LSU's defense has been playing great, and now you have Bryce Young pinned inside the 10-yard line. I think it's worth taking the chance.
So close to a touchdown there, just over his fingertips. And now Alabama, 6:46 to bleed out to protect this precarious lead. Young with a throw, low. Bolden went down to get it, and they pick up just 3. That mishandled hold on the PAT, the rare, ultra rare miss by Alabama, made that an interesting decision.
Oh, the officials talked. They said that that's an incompletion. Looks like Darius Jones is down. We've talked all night. Looks like they're looking at his right hand, maybe his right finger, index finger. Talked all night about this secondary and how they've had to fight through injuries all year. They're going to get him up.
Yeah, a lot of guys kind of gritting their teeth.
Yeah.
And he's an inexperienced corner, pressed into duty because their top 3 guys are injured. A lot of guys nicked up, inexperienced, asked to step up big, and this LSU team have done that tonight.
Yeah. Darren Evans has been out there playing a lot. Jones.
Alabama still no running game, Kirk. You'd think a vintage Crimson Tide offense, certainly a great chance to grind it out, protect the lead. Tonight they've had 0 on the ground. Empty backfield. 3-man rush. Bryce with time, send their flat-footed at the goal line, now delivers a throw, and Bolden makes that catch, and they move the sticks across the 20.
Good job of just sitting back, waiting for it. Nice adjustment there by the receiver, Slade Bolden. He had all kinds of time, and eventually Bolden finds its soft spot, dropping 8 into coverage.
If you pressure him, he's still pretty good. If you don't pressure Young, forget about it. He is frighteningly efficient. Clean pocket. He's been almost impossible to stop this year. That's a quick throw. Williams goes up high and just darts out of bounds after the catch.
Gotta love Bill O'Brien, offensive coordinator and play caller, in the approach. You know, that he trusts his young quarterback. You know, he's gonna. He told me something last night. He said, you know, this guy is so cerebral. He's all about prep. He said by Tuesday he's talking to me like I'm talking to one of these NFL quarterbacks about game planning. He's helping me with the game planning, which is pretty unique from such a young quarterback.
He says no one does it that early in the week.
Yeah.
Comes in Tuesday ready to go. Robinson takes a hit. They're able to move the 6 that time, and that'll take it down under 5.5 before they have to snap it next time.
When in doubt, go behind the big guy, Evan Neal, on left side, 6'7", 350.
See, Kirk, no running game all night. Still sitting there, just 17 rushing yards. Can they find one here with Robinson, or will it be those short control passes?
I think it's trust a quarterback, mix in run when you have to, but trust Young and try to find some easy throws, and don't take the sack. Just throw it, but be safe with it.
And Young delivers a very safe throw. Williams makes a pivot. Ooh, almost ran free. Is tackled near the 50. Evans made the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, you're on an island out there, and you got to tackle one of the best receivers in the country. You know, it's not just a little 8-yard out. It's what happens after that 8-yard out. Trying to bring him down, and eventually he gets some help by the big linebacker, Clark.
For LSU, can you afford to leave a cushion for these receivers as you have a lot of the night, though? Do you have to get up and play a little more aggressive?
Well, they've been winning up front. They haven't had to worry about that.
Comes pressure. It's picked up, and the ball incomplete. Williams just let that ball go right past him. There's a flag out. Did he step out of bounds?
Yeah, I think he didn't even make an effort to catch the ball because he's about to get hit. But there's a flag right there.
It's strange looking.
Yeah, he's going to lose yards if he ends up catching that. It would have been about a 4-yard loss.
It does stop the clock, which is a factor.
The flag came out right where he was.
Long consultation. Saban looking for some clarity.
The ruling is intentional grounding on the offense, number 9. Number 1 was an ineligible player. He was covered up on the play. Therefore, the pass was thrown to an ineligible player. That's intentional grounding.
That would explain.
It's a loss of down. Second down.
Here we go again with the intentional grounding interpretations. That explains why Williams has let the ball go.
This is the second time this year I've heard about this call. This receiver out to the outside is eligible. The guy to the inside is not eligible.
That's why he didn't even attempt to catch the ball.
That's probably why he didn't reach for it. He probably realized it.
Yeah.
At the same time,
what was Bryce Young thinking? I mean, he's always making such good decisions. Shocked that he thought that Jamison Williams was an eligible receiver.
He called the formation, but does he know whether he is or isn't? But
well, the clock is stopped, and it's now 2nd and 20.
Yeah.
Late pressure, Young escapes it, has got room, and scoots for a nice gain. Takes a big shot at the end of the play from Jay Ward.
Wow.
Pops right up.
Yeah, I'd love to see him get up. This is where you'd like to see him slide. Damone Clark, middle linebacker, they've been blitzing him all night. When you blitz, you better have somebody that can help out, but bang, right there. Jay Ward lowers his shoulder.
Slider, get out of bounds.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Remember, he came at 172 pounds here. He's bulked up 20 pounds. He is not a very thick, strongly built quarterback. He's got a lot of attributes, but you don't want him taking shots like that very often. 3rd and 5.
Remember, they're showing a lot of blitz all night.
Tigers crowd in the line.
Nick Saban called a timeout. He is worked up. He is fired up.
Alabama
trying to finish the job here. 3:38. And Bryce Young showing some toughness here. Knocked flat. Hops right back up. Nick Saban hollering and demonstrating what he thought was a targeting hit on his quarterback by Jay Ward. They reviewed it, Kirk. If you look at this is just a hard football play. Ward seems to lead with the shoulder.
Yeah. I mean, he makes
not
contact.
Defenseless there.
He makes contact, but he's leading with the shoulder, hits the side of the helmet. He's not using the crown of his helmet, so therefore there's no targeting there.
That was the verdict from the booth. So it's 3rd and 5. Can Bama keep this march going? Play number 8 in this drive. Pressure again. And he's sacked. The ball is loose. A scramble for it at the 41-yard line. 2 guys fighting for the football on the ground. Cameron Lewis knocked it loose. LSU has it in Alabama territory.
How about Cam Lewis?
To play.
Cam Lewis is a 6th-year guy. He's super senior. Makes the play of the game for LSU. Coming off the edge. Able to get his hands on that football and knock it loose. Jarred it loose. Good effort to be able to come up with that.
Quaylen Roy is the man who won the battle, Kirk, at the bottom of the pile, recovering the football.
And they get the ball at the 42 of Alabama, but a 6th-year player in Lewis has been asked to step up and become a leader in the back end with all their injuries, and he makes a huge play.
It's a great point. He was there for the glory of 2019, right? One of the great teams ever. He's seen the low times since then. Playing hard tonight. Now, can LSU find the end zone and pull off one of the biggest shocks in college football in a long time? Can Max Johnson come up with something, Kirk, that'll become part of LSU lore? Yeah, Burrow and company came in here and won a couple years ago. That was a great team. This is a team with a lame duck coaching staff that struggled tonight and somehow hung around here.
And Chris, let's not forget what's at stake. Not just the pride. You want to beat LSU. You're sitting at number 2 in the latest rankings that came out. You're 7-1. We've talked all year. Since their loss to A&M, Alabama cannot afford another loss if they're going to try to chase some dreams of getting into a SEC championship and maybe a playoff.
Johnson, ball batted in the air, and it falls to the ground. Anderson got a piece of it. He was trying to track the football down. Couldn't come up with a pick.
You know, if you can't get to the quarterback, be an athlete out in space, right? Go up in the air. He is so elite, special athlete. Will Anderson going up and knocking that ball down.
He has played a monstrous game tonight. 3rd and 9. Anderson on the left edge, set to get after the passer again. They block him, but heavy pressure hits Johnson on the throw, and it's 4th and 9. That was DeMarco Helms on the blitz.
Coach O trying to call a timeout right before that ball is snapped. I don't think he liked the look. They bring Helms late. Also bring Henry Toto. Just not enough offensive linemen in to try to help out. They had one too many. Look at Coach O at the top. Look at him. He's just about to call a timeout and unable to get it.
Here we go. Tigers need 9. And now Ogeron will spend a timeout. He's got 2 to spare. Wanted to take a look at Alabama's defense. Slammed his headset down. That was frustration from not getting a timeout to play before.
Yeah, I think he wanted that timeout. He's frustrated with this series. They just got great field position at the Alabama 42 after that Lewis sack and just unable to do anything on these first 3 plays.
Now, if you're Pete Golding and Nick Saban on that near sideline here, come up with your plan. What do you call? You bring the pressure? Do you drop and make the quarterback find something against 8 guys?
You know, you can also rely on Will Anderson to get home. You know, I mean, you've got some guys that can bring heat. I think you put the pressure on Max Johnson.
Fourth and 9. They bring an all-out blitz. Sanderson doesn't get home. The ball's incomplete. He tried to get the ball to Besh, his favorite target. They came after the quarterback big time.
That's the matchup, right? They brought the all-out blitz, brought everybody. He goes to Jack Besh, who's going to win. You know, this guy has been winning for the last few weeks. He's one-on-one, soft coverage, but look at the pressure. Off of his back foot, tough to throw it with accuracy, and unable to put it in a spot where 80 can go up and make a play on the ball. But that was the matchup. That's who he wanted to go to, was his guy, Besh, against Brian Branch.
This is not a position Bama's defense expected to be in tonight. Young with that fumble, and they had to go back on the field and protect this 6-point lead. Now with 2:36 to bleed off this clock, LSU can stop it only once. It's Robinson in the old school I formation. Young kind of stumbled coming away from center. The timing wasn't good, and Robinson picks up a couple. Tonight's player spotlight brought to you by Royal Caribbean. We talked about the Jack linebacker, Will Anderson, just a phenomenal sophomore, the youngest of 6. He's got 5 older sisters. I said, I bet you were bossed around a lot. They were all athletic. They kind of roughed him up. They actually made him tough. And here is the family. They kept trying to have a boy, finally got a boy. And mom and dad were excited they could finally raise a football player, but very athletic family, such a supportive family, great family.
Great family, great player. He's had an incredible career. With all the losses from last year's national championship team, he's become the guy. When they lost to Texas A&M, it was Will Anderson who stepped up and talked about, hey, we don't have any margin of error. We got to go out and play. Football has to matter to you. Put everything else away. That speech was where he became really the alpha of this team.
Match me, he kept saying, match me, match my effort, my intensity, my commitment.
Hard to match the commitment, hard to match the production. By the way, under center with Bryce Young and Chris Owens, not the easiest.
They struggled a bit, you're right. Get the ball to Robinson, and he's going to be wrestled down behind the line. LSU spent that last timeout. They can't stop it again. Farrell with the tackle, but it's going to be 3rd and long. They'll get the football back if they can get a stop.
Yeah, they will. Probably get it with around about a minute to go.
And they can snap the ball about a minute 45 here. It brings me great joy to hit the quarterback. Reiterated that yesterday. It's been a joyful night for him. He's done a lot of that. Looks like Saban's going to let it wind down and spend the timeout using all of the play clock here. 3rd and 10 coming up. Didn't necessarily expect, Kirk, the number 2 team in the college football rankings brought to you by Allstate, to be in this kind of a 4-quarter fight. We knew LSU had talent. They played with pride, but this is more than we thought we'd get from this game.
2 losses.
Michigan State losing by 11.
2 losses in the top 10. Wake Forest, we knew that would be a shootout, but 58-55. Mac Brown's team victorious.
Oregon up there in Seattle was trailing in that game. Sloppy weather, as Matt showed. Now it's 17-9, final minute of the 3rd quarter up there in Seattle.
Ohio State had a scare in Lincoln today. Cincinnati had a scare against Tulsa at home. Alabama tonight, a scare so far from LSU. This one's obviously not over.
You know, the first rankings come out, you think, that shouldn't really be a factor, but you start to see the pressure of the stretch run come into play, the mental challenge of this part of the season.
Especially ranked versus unranked. You go in ranked, everything to lose, and you're LSU and you're throwing fake punts on the first series. You know, what the heck? Just you can take chances. That's what you're facing when you're a ranked team in November.
Alabama with that big stop, just trying to get out of here. A loss that would have completely shaken up the playoff chase. Knocked the Tide way off the screen. Something that all the other contenders wouldn't have mind seeing, by the way. There were a lot of folks who were rooting for LSU tonight who didn't think they had a chance. Young tried to fool him with a bootleg. He fooled no one and just gets down for a loss. And the play clock will tick down, and they'll punt the ball a little bit less than a minute to go.
Good job by the defense, showing discipline. Corner 2, see him to the far right, just in case he's there. McClutheran, good job of staying home. Clock will continue to tick. It'll go down just under a minute. So they'll have out of timeouts under a minute and probably around, depending where the return is, about 70 to 85 yards.
Got to get the punt away, first of all. They did have one blocked here at home by Tennessee. Burnip is a freshman who comes from 10,000 miles away. He flipped from Ole Miss. They offered him a scholarship, but only a 3-year scholarship. The Tide said, we can do better. We'll offer you 4, and they flipped him. And he's the guy that's got to catch this punt snap and kind of get it away. The kicking game's been a little bit of a problem, and you don't expect this from Alabama, but Paul Tyson is the backup quarterback, and he's the first-year holder. And this was in that early field goal. The low kick by Reichert just doinked off the crossbar. That's one thing. But the PAT, again, a mishandled snap. The kick sails wide right, and that kept LSU with some things in play late in this game. Kept it a 6-point game.
And it goes over in practice.
You wonder, had they taken the 3? I agree with you. You go for it down there. They didn't get the 3 points. Had they, though, they would have had the ball back in Alabama territory.
Well, they've been aggressive all night with their decision-making, so I think it fits with their approach to the game. I think they had to go for it down there.
Nealon Hibbert is a true freshman with the long snapper. He gets it to Burnip, and the other freshman does get it away. It's a short punt, and it's returnable. And out is Palmer. And they got some decent field position.
Not a great punt. Pretty good return. They're going to be at about their 37 or 38-yard line with 50 seconds to go. All right. See what you can do.
No timeouts. Big plays down the field have been really hard to come by for this offense.
If you're an Alabama fan, you've watched this secondary all year. You're holding your breath right now. You don't want to see any busted coverage. Everybody have their assignment. Everybody be on the same page.
Pressure. They've got Johnson back at the 30. Dallas Turner's got him. Clock ticking. They can't stop it. And the quarterback very slow to get up.
Yeah, and the last thing you can afford to do is take the sack, especially with no timeouts. The true freshman, Dallas Turner, who's a Sam linebacker, a lot of times in coverage. That time he's able to get around the corner and get home.
Now it's a 3-man rush. Johnson, a long throw, and the catch made and getting out of bounds is Jenkins. Yeah, that's the absolute thing you cannot do.
You just can't do it.
2-minute drill.
Yeah. Far left, watch 15. You're talking about a young guy who's going to have a really bright future. 6'4", about 245 pounds. Christian Allen's been taken away from them this year at that spot. Drew Sanders has missed the last few games. He's been forced into action, comes up with a heck of a play.
LSU needs a miracle now. Late pressure, Johnson gets it out, broken up beautifully across the middle. Getting a long arm out there was Brian Branch, and LSU down to 1 play in just 18 seconds.
Besh has been running those crossers all night against these safeties, and that time Branch was ready for it, positioned himself, made it really tough in a tight window for Max Johnson.
Last chance for Johnson in this LSU offense. 3-man rush. Surveying. And delivers. Catch made. And a first down in Alabama territory. Thomas got to the 45. 9 seconds to go. Now they can take a shot deep down.
Take a shot. Good job here. Johnson waits. Heck of a job by the young receiver, Brian Thomas. Not giving up on that play, having an idea where he needed to get, and then gets out of bounds to preserve that clock at 9 seconds.
In the left arm of Johnson, get it to the end zone from the pocket here. Got to throw it. Now they're going to throw short, try to get a little bit of yardage, and that's a smart play. Jenkins makes the catch. Now it's not a Hail Mary.
They went to a bunch formation into the boundary. 3 receivers, Alabama anticipating the Hail Mary. Nobody out to the outside to stop Jenkins from on a little kind of wheel route, like a banana route, where he's able to get to the boundary. And a heck of a decision by Peets, the offensive coordinator. Now you got a real shot to throw it into that end zone.
30 yards away, 5 seconds to go. And LSU come up with something to shock the world here. Johnson pressured, flag down, lofted to the end zone, jump ball by everybody. It's batted down. No time left on the clock. The flag in the area that you would suggest is holding. And they could just decline it. And that would be the ball game.
Personal foul, face mask, offense, number 61. The penalty is declined. The game is over.
And the Crimson Tide survive, and their fans can exhale. LSU came to fight for all 4 quarters tonight, and it comes down to the final play. Brief exchange between Saban and Orgeron. And Alabama gets out of here with a hard-fought victory. Let's get Saban's reaction from Holly.
Well, Coach Saban, LSU has the ball. They're going in to tie the game. Your defense stands up. Again, right there, your defense is there. How do you describe the way your team responded to this?
Well, you know, the defense did a great job. We got a lot of stops in the second half when it was a one-score game. One on the goal line when it was 3rd and 9 or whatever was really big. But, you know, offensively, we didn't move the ball at all. Lots of 3 and outs. Couldn't keep the ball away from them. So a win's a win. It's always great to beat LSU. We knew they had a good team. They played a really good game, but I'm proud of our players for the way they competed and finished the game.
You warned your kids all week that LSU would bring the best against you. How did they respond when they kept getting slugged in the mouth?
Well, I think they responded well. I mean, we ended up winning the game. We ended up doing what we had to do to win the game. We didn't get it done on offense, but we did on defense. And it's a team game, and the score is the score, and it only matters when it's over, and it's in our favor.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Here's the last play. Most of the SEC was in the end zone, kind of jumping for the football here. It wouldn't have counted because there was a flag now, but it's fun to see.
It was. I mean, you kind of hold your breath on these kind of. There's the flag right there, the face mask. You just kind of he did a good job of putting it, lofting it up into the air. Look at all those bodies, and a good job. It looked like by maybe Branch.
Yeah, just knocked it down.
Yeah, that's the way. Don't worry about the interception. Just go up, high point it, and just knock it away. Christian Harris, I think, got his hand on that and knocked it away.
Of course he did. Will Anderson was everywhere tonight. He brought himself great joy by getting to the quarterback a whole bunch, and he's with Holly.
Will Anderson, I had to take a double look and see if there were 5 of you out there tonight because you were all over the place. How did you play with such effort and really control this game defensively?
You know, games like this, they mean a lot to us, so we have to come out here. We have to be dominant. We have to show that we were relentless with our effort, and we have to play and be on the same page and get the calls and get lined up fast, and I think that was the biggest part.
I had a coach tell me that you make this team better just by stepping on the field at practice, in games. How are guys matching your energy right now?
You know, they come to practice with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of energy. You know, we feed off each other. If I'm doing good, somebody else doing good, we feed off that energy so practice can be good, so games can be good, and we all can eat.
All right, sounds like you ate tonight. Thank you so much, Will.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Defense stepped up when the offense scored only 20 and gained only 6 rushing yards. New Mexico State, a 1-win team. Next up for the Tide, then that stretch run. Arkansas here at Auburn, and that date with the Dogs in Georgia. This was fun tonight. LSU put up a hell of a fight.
Yeah, we thought LSU would come in, but I don't know if anybody expected it to be this close. Great effort.
That's a wrap tonight from Tuscaloosa. Back to Matt Berry in the studio. This was a lot of fun, Matt.
Chris Fowler, you nailed it. What a great college football game it was, perhaps a little bit unexpectedly out of LSU in the final game that Ed Orgeron is going to be the head coach against the Crimson Tide for the LSU Tigers. What a great college football Saturday we have. So much to talk about in the world of sports, including UFC. Kamaru Usman. Look